Yeah, I mean, totally. Like if you want to describe your characters beforehand, so he can just see them when
Well, I
he
just
goes
meant
through.
like, who is like, say hello to Miles instead of before we meet his
Oh
character.
yeah, absolutely. Why don't we do that? Why
No,
don't we do
no,
that
no.
real quick? Yeah, why don't we do all that real quick?
No, we all
Yeah.
hate each other. No introductions.
We
Yeah,
don't care. We
no, that's a
don't
good
care.
idea, Gage.
We don't
Let's go
care
ahead
who
and do
you
that real
are as
quick.
a person.
Yep. Yep. So who wants to go first?
I can go first. We'll do it
Okay.
in order, in alphabetical order in the list.
Sure.
So, I am playing a College of Creation bard, a Triton named Pandemonium. You may call me Pan. They usually go by they them, but he and she also work. They don't really care. And they are just very flamboyantly, like, I haven't really finished the art yet, but they are very colorful, like all different types of clothing they're wearing, and they try to be friendly, but they keep getting in the way in combat scenarios, so sorry about that, just beforehand.
Amazing.
I cast silence on an enemy, and then Erastus tried to do thunder damage. And so I negated accidentally 60 points of thunder damage against an enemy.
Yeah, but that's kind of the way it's supposed to be anyway, so that's good stuff. So, yep.
Yeah, it balanced out.
Yep.
But that's my character.
Well, I
Gretna,
think
go.
I was gonna say I think what Gage was saying, and I kind of agree with this too, is everyone can also just say a little bit about yourself, so like everyone knows each other before we start playing, which is
Ah,
fine.
shit.
And it's okay. I wasn't very clear. And then you can
No,
go
I
ahead
mean,
and describe your
shit, introducing
characters.
myself.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
Amanda, you're not a Triton?
She is.
Tyler, what the fuck? I told you not to say it in front of anybody.
Say the outer, Tyler.
Yeah.
Well, I am Amanda.
Yeah.
I'm a human. Unfortunately, I've been trying really hard to change it, but they haven't let me yet. I'm
Yeah,
working
Amanda
on it.
plays in my first campaign as well. Amanda
Yes.
plays in Group A too.
I
Yeah.
play a wizard on Sundays.
Yep.
And I also draw. If you notice the art emotes in this server, that was me.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, she's very, very talented artist. Yeah.
Aww.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I guess that would be me. I
Yep.
am your pretty much vanilla Hill Dwarf Life Cleric. 4'6", blonde hair. I'm wearing a helmet, and I have a necklace, stone symbol of Tyr around my neck.
Okay. And Gretna's been playing. You've been playing for what? Like, how long has Group B been playing for, guys? It's been a while now.
6 months?
It's been since like the end of September, beginning of October.
It's session
it's
20,
definitely
so 20
been a
weeks.
while. Yeah.
20 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, I love to hear it.
Messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, Group A has been playing for almost, I mean, God, 10 months at least, maybe more.
Yeah, Group
maybe?
A is July.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
I think early July, late June.
Yeah.
For you, for us, it was.
No. You guys. I was August. I was late August, early September.
Yeah.
Wait.
It might have been July. It might have been July. I don't remember.
I thought you guys said that you. No,
Yeah,
you're right. You guys were around April. I was June, July.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a really long time.
Time is weird for me right now.
Okay. Anyway, sorry I interrupted. Go ahead, Greta.
Oh, that was it. There's not much to me.
Okay. All right. Cool.
That's all there is.
Who's
I
next?
sit around waiting for people to get hurt.
Yeah.
And sometimes she does it on purpose.
Tyler.
Yeah.
I play in Group A as well. I play a Paladin of Conquest of Tiamat, and I play. Yeah, it's going surprisingly well. Mixed bag at times, but better than some of the outcomes. And I recently brought that character in here for a little bit. She has since left. I myself, I'm 25, from Connecticut, and this is going to be my second session with this character. Like Chris said, I've been playing in Group A for a little shy of a year, and I sort of am in and out of this group, but this character is a relatively permanent addition.
Yep.
Grand.
I guess that's Mac. Net.
Yeah. Yep.
My character's basically a Viking, runic tattoos, kind of tall, typical braided reddish blonde hair, carries lots of weapons. And myself, I live in Bangor, Maine. I teach high school after a career in geotechnical engineering, and that's me with one puppy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What a good boy.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
My name's Gage. Me and Kaylee live in Florida together. Um, yeah, I've been DMing for a long time. I've been playing Erastus. If you asked him he's a turtle, obviously, but if you ask him what class he was, or he would tell you he's a toy maker. He's actually an artificer, the armor subclass.
Love.
He's really short for a turtle, and which is even more pronounced because he's hunchbacked. He was born deformed. His shell in the back concaves inwards, like if you took an egg and you hit it with the spoon lightly, it kind of like spider webs on the back. He covers it with iron plates to try to hide it, but unless he's got his armor on, it's pretty noticeable. He's got a little clockwork bird that he's put a lot of time and energy into called Bimmy, and he names all of his things. Like he makes toys and he names them, and he has a mage hand he calls Barry.
Delightful.
Cool. Thank you. Who's next?
All right. Well, I play a character named Privian. You can call him Privian, Rin. He is a 26-year-old.
Is it really Privian? Is it really Privian? And I've been calling him Purivan this entire fucking time. I think with like everyone else.
Wait, everybody
Yeah.
asks, yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's so how do you
Privian,
Okay,
Rin,
Privian.
doesn't
Privian.
matter.
Okay. Privian. Gotcha.
This is why he went
Yeah.
on that killing spree. No one got his name right.
Yeah.
Listen,
Exactly.
listen. Okay.
Privian. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
And then yeah, he's a Eladrin Winter elf, and he likes to make bad decisions, but he has all good intentions in mind. He's so undoubtedly beautiful in every existence that there ever could be, to the point of his own perfection.
He is now. You should have seen him when he started, but yes. Because I normally would never, just so you know, Miles or anyone listening, I would never ever actually allow someone to create someone who is like super like good looking for no reason. But it is epic why he is good looking, and he started off disfigured. So yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
originally,
you expected to stay disfigured, right? That's how you kind of wanted him, right?
yeah, no, he was
Yeah.
supposed to live off the life of being that, guy
Yeah.
that was a monster that no one talked to.
Right, exactly. But he is not anymore. So yeah.
Yeah,
You're
and
a
his
different good monster.
And he's also
exactly.
again why you are also in this place and had human as your only race option. but it's also epic. This is actually one of the things that I am most delighted about in our campaign so far is Pyravan. So far, he has done something that not only did I not expect, and Group A has also done quite a few things, including killing Elminster and some other stuff that was awesome, but by accident. But this is also something that is incredible. So, and that's thanks to Pyravan. So,
Swell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll find out. Just
Yeah.
welcome to the group, bud.
Thanks, Oz.
Wait, I want to get to know Shane though. I don't get to talk about Shane.
Shane is 26, male, prefers he, and he's a lighting designer and director, and he travels all across the world performing light shows and instilling memories into others.
That's cool. Very cool.
I didn't know that.
Cool.
But
Awesome. Who's next?
I think it's me, unless we skipped over anyone.
Nope, it's you.
Yeah, you're last.
Cool. So my name is Kaylee. As discussion hinted at, pronouns are she, her. I don't terribly care if you call me they, them, or he, they, she, hers preferred. Gage said we live together, but I'm originally from Mississippi, and around the time this group started was when I moved to Florida. It was really nice to like have something to do and like talk to people because COVID's hard to meet people. Theo is a Metastopheles tiefling. She started off as a warlock, but she has since into sorcerer. Her warlock nature is a secret for components that hopefully will come up in game at some point. But she's not formally educated on magic. It is something that she's gradually picked up over time because of her race and now because of her sorcerer background. So if you asked her what she was, she would just say a self-taught mage. She doesn't really know. She wears pretty plain clothes because as a tiefling, she sticks out a lot, especially because her skin is purple and she has just solid white eyes, no pupils or anything. That's her photo because I love it. She wears super plain clothes.
Gorgeous piece of art.
You know, artist who made it is so talented, but another story, another time. But yeah, she'll wear very plain clothes. She doesn't like drawing attention to herself. She's from Luskan, and that's kind of her inspiration for coming into the tomb, was because she was worried what would happen to her family and the orphanage that she's trying to start if she didn't venture into the tomb. She's accompanied by Erastus. They came into this journey together, and through our time in the tomb, she picked up a pseudo-dragon. He's a little green boy, and his name is Kiriji, but she just calls him Kiri for short.
Oh my god! Oh, no! Amazing!
That's it. Otherwise, I suffer through school so I can get my degrees after delaying graduation for a year. Otherwise, it's D&D or I work at a law firm, and that's it. I have 3
Yeah.
sections of my life.
Oh god. Get it. Get that degree. And I'm Miles, everybody. I'm a professional dungeon master and a Twitch streamer, and I'm 30 years old and I live in New York. And yeah, that's my jazz. And you'll learn about my
Oh,
character
wow.
as we go, I think.
Somebody close to me, finally.
Yay!
I'm in
Yeah, cool.
Jersey, so
Is
you don't
that
want
why
to know me.
you-
It's okay.
I mean,
Is that
we're
why you
Why-
we're
use TM in
CT.
your name?
Why did I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I thought you lived in
Mostly
North
agree.
Dakota or something, like you were
That was
punching bears.
Different person.
No.
Yeah.
Circle is North
Yeah.
Dakota. But
No, there's
I
bears
I
in
was
New
born in
Jersey.
Queens.
Yeah, there's bears in New Jersey. Yep.
You
There's
were born
bears
in
here.
Queens?
Yeah, they go to the bars.
Yeah, I was born in Queens.
I was
Wow.
born
I
in
lived in
Bayside.
Flushing.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, nice.
Actually, Kew Gardens, but it's a long story.
Cool. All right, guys. Awesome.
Miles, I did find your Twitch page like 2 days ago.
Yeah, I saw your follow. It made me smile.
I
actually,
don't have
Yeah, what is that?
I don't have art of Umbra. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to make it sound like I don't smile, but so I don't have art for Umbra, but this is Kino,
Amazing.
my paladin,
Yeah.
made by Amanda.
So great. So dark, so terrifying.
Yes.
I'll
All
fight
right,
her
so
someday.
yeah, we're gonna start exactly where we left off with Pirvin and Kino, basically traversing the river of viscous red liquid
Umbra.
to come back. Oh, I said Kino, didn't I? Yep,
Yeah.
Umbra. To
God.
yeah, I do that.
Damn it,
I do that
Chris.
way too much. Yep. It's okay. I also call people like by different. Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, we'll start right there. So.
we need to recap or no?
Yeah, let's do the recap anyway, especially for Miles. I know let's go ahead and do the recap and then we can go through it. Yeah.
Are you on Twitch by chance right now? I'm sorry.
I actually am on Twitch and I'm gonna put it on. Can you guys not see it on Twitch?
You are not
No,
streaming it.
Offline.
You are offline.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna redo it.
Ooh, I had.
And I'm gonna do this on Discord too for you guys as well. So hold on one second.
Do you want me to start the recap while you're doing that?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay. The session began with the group leveling up and all dropping onto a dry dirt road next to a flowing river of blood. There they met Umbra, a human wizard born in Tovag. Miracle was not with the group as they teleported, and Erastus assumes that there was a teleportation error. Due to mutual interest in escaping Tovag, Umbra assured us that he didn't mean us harm and appeared to be willing to help us navigate the horrors of Tovag. Seeking shelter at Umbra's home, he informs them of the rules and lifestyle of Tovag as they carefully cross the horrid landscape. He informs them that magic is illegal and uncommon. He also mentioned that monsters creep around every corner and informed the party to never enter the woods alone. While in Umbra's house, a loud fanfare begins, with a procession of thousands of soldiers walking from both the fortress of Kaz and Torgarak. As everyone is watching the soldiers, Umbra states that even though people age faster here, to which no one lives past 30. The people who live in this domain exist as fodder. The men are sent to die, and the women are kept as cattle to breed more soldiers in a never ending cycle. We explained to Umbra that we came to this domain to find a sword in the city that will kill the creature that works with Vecna. Umbra points out that if the team is going to stay in the area for any period of time, they'll need supplies, and to get them, they will have to enter the city. To help disguise everyone, Umbra suggests a type of fruit which can be found in the forest and which, upon being eaten, can polymorph a creature into a human for 9 days. The best way to search for these fruits is the most terrifying. Going in as a party of 1 or 2 and stealthing through the forest full of frenzied monsters to find them. Peervin and Umbra decide to go through the forest together and manage to stealth through without being caught for a few hours. They manage to collect a few fruits before attracting attention, but manage to climb trees and use magic to escape the frenzy and come out unscathed. And they
Cool.
manage to make it back.
Great, thank you. All right, we're gonna start right where you guys are coming back in.
Is it possible that we could have done something? How long were they gone? Could we have gotten a short rest or anything in?
They were gone for almost a little over an hour, so you could have definitely gone a short rest. Yeah, yeah. It's because they had to wait. Actually, they were gone over an hour because they had to wait both times within the rope check thing. So yes, it's a little over an hour. Yep. Yep. And oh, it's just so you know as well, Miles. Before we started, back in the Tomb of Horrors, everything will be 3D and Tailspire. Only certain things will be like that within Tobag. It's actually way too hard to model through. This is why you have a map up going through it. So you'll see it's a little different while we're in Tobag than it is when you get back into the tomb and everywhere else. But for now, this is yeah. Okay. And everyone can see it on Discord too, right? In real time. Twitch, you can look through. The problem with Twitch is that it's delayed. It's delayed by like 5-10 seconds sometimes. So, but everyone can see my mouse and everything.
Working
Great.
here.
Wonderful. Okay. All right. All right. So you guys see them. You see them both come back. You can tell they've been a little traumatized on top of the fact that they're going through things. Last time, so Pirvin, you were able to get through it without getting burned by the silver mist. Umber is pretty good at this. So, and as you guys start walking back and going to see the group or whatever, you guys can all tell that they've been through some kind of ordeal to get these things.
Are you guys
Alright.
okay?
Pyravin, what happened to your handsome face?
Oh,
He's
hold
still
on, let
handsome.
me,
What,
let
what do you
me
mean? And I
cast
touch my face and I
prestidigitation.
pat all around it. It's like, I'm still handsome.
You
Hold
are
on,
still
yeah.
handsome.
You're pale. You look like you just saw a ghost.
He's always pale.
You have a little bit of blood on you. Let me get that. And I cast prestidigitation and clean him up.
I look down at myself in wonder and amazement.
That's better.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Don't mention it. Thank you for your help back there.
So
Sure
did you
you-
get the
Take it you were
the
supposed
seed
to.
things, the
Yeah,
nuts?
did you get what you're
the
looking
nuts?
for?
We have just enough.
The persimmons? What were they?
Mm.
The I don't think we actually got a name from.
No, you actually don't.
Interesting.
You don't actually know what their name is, Umbra. You just knew how to describe them, but you don't know what they're called.
Well, here, everyone that needs one.
I'm gonna
Take
call
one.
them the persimmons of power.
Well, they're like a human fruit. You take them and just kind of
Persimmons, sounds better.
like snap their backs and just kind of eat all of the flesh in the inside.
No.
Okay.
Well, you have to eat the entire fruit if you want to be polymorphed into a human.
Pan immediately snaps its back and starts eating it.
Yeah,
See,
so
there-
Pan,
Cool.
so Pan, as you do that, it does seem to have some kind of internal bone-like structure. But as you go through and start to devour it, the very first thing you notice is that it is overwhelmingly sweet, and the insides of it are certainly red, and they are like a jelly consistency. The other thing that's weird is that as you bite through what seemingly might be bones, they're incredibly brittle, and they also don't seem to have much taste but are easily digestible. On top of you going through and starting to eat this, you start to feel a terrible pain inside of your entire body. And as you guys start to see this, she literally starts to transform in front of you. But this is not polymorph. So what ends up happening is that you go through and you do turn into a human. You turn into a human male. But if you can imagine, literally it's reshaping your bones, reshaping your organs in the most painful, horrific way possible. And after 30 or 40 seconds of immense, agonizing pain, sure enough, you are absolutely a human male.
I'm just imagining like Pan writhing on the ground in agony, and after like a minute standing up and being like, I'm fine. Next person's turn. I'm good. It was fine.
All
I
right,
always
who's
thought you were a
up next?
girl.
Gender is a strange human concept. I'm
Oh,
honestly
okay.
surprised I turned into a male. I thought I would just turn into like a doll.
Ah.
Who's next? By the way, you seem to be in your 30s, maybe late 20s. It's hard to say.
Okay, I'll go next.
Umbra, didn't you say that would be a problem? That we would just have to talk our way through about how old one's
Yes.
appearance
Well,
winds up being?
you have to pose as some sort of either a soldier or um, a, a trader or something along those lines. If you wanted to get into the city for people that are just regular commoners of 18 or older, they get sent off to war, or the women can also pretend to be with child.
Chris, can Pan use like a disguise kit to make themselves look like scarred?
Yes. Yeah, you can use a disguise kit. You could theoretically even make a disguise kit to make you look younger. But yes, you can do that if you'd like to.
Okay. Can I make myself look? I don't think I can make myself look under 18. I don't think that's feasible. But maybe a little younger and also scarred.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that would be fine. Yep.
Do I roll for that? I've never used a disguise kit before.
So the way the disguise kits, let me actually bring it up just to make sure, because I think that if you're just doing minor things, you don't even have to roll. Let's look. If you are doing it here, let's look. So I don't cheat this. Hold on. So
Proficiency
basically what
bonus.
you're doing is it's just adding to your proficiency bonus and ability checks that make you to like create a visual disguise. And then it does like go off things like people's passive perception and other things as well. And using it. It's so funny. I actually have not used one of these in forever. Let's see. It is a skill check, by the way. Do you have proficiency, by the way, in disguise kits already?
I think I do because it came in my equipment. I'll go check on that.
Yeah.
You
It
don't.
uses intelligence, by the way. There are feats that allow you to use dexterity, though.
Oh, here, hold on. I'll help you. I'll use Mage Hand to sort of, move a bit of the paints around on her face and aid her.
Yeah, and it's just the standard thing. This is what I thought it was. It's so you can also use it as a deception check to go off of like it depends on specifically what you're trying to pull on. Usually those are when you're like trying to do a different race or whatever, but with what you're doing, it's so minor, especially considering that you're already human male, that I'll let you go through this with no check and just I'll be looking at people's passives. They'd have to have a very high passive in order to see through this anyway, so
Okay.
you're fine. Yeah, don't worry about it for now. Yeah. All right. Who was next?
Peregrine looks at everyone, just demolishing these baby, fleshy looking things, and is absolutely disgusted at it. And he kind of refuses to eat it at this very moment. There's no way. I am not eating this.
We can
No, don't get
dress you up
squeamish
as a
now.
pregnant woman.
It tastes like jelly.
Oh, it does, really.
I said that
Jelly.
as Henri. That was a very Henri voice I just did. Let me take that one back and let me try it again. It when you bite into it, it doesn't taste anything like flesh. It's just very sweet, surprisingly so.
Pirvin takes the smallest nibble and then realizes that it's not that bad and just starts going in.
Okay.
The effects are
Yeah.
worse than the actual eating.
Yeah,
Too
Pirvin,
late.
No, I mean,
it also shrinks you a tad. Obviously, you look average now. And by the way, once everyone starts to eat them, you realize that everyone turns into an average-looking man of maybe late 20s, early 30s. Very average in general. Which is probably a good thing as you start looking around the group. Like nobody's really standing out right now,
I
are we
do.
except
all
for
the
the age.
same man?
No. Very different men, but all men, no matter what.
Okay, I was
CO,
gonna
you're
say
going to be a man
just
too. Yeah.
just 7 copies of the same guy walking
No,
into the city. Nothing
no,
can
no,
go
no,
wrong.
no. The good
7
news is the good
exact
news is
boys.
exactly the good news is it actually looks like so everyone's piece of fruit because it's modeled after a almost like a body with no like visages, like it doesn't have hair, doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have a mouth, but it is a body, and all of them are just a little bit different, and you wonder if maybe that has something to do with this effect. But yes, they're all of you are very average looking, all of you are men, all of you are in late 20s, early 30s. No one's like missing a limb or anything that would stand out. No one has like no one's even bald. It's all very average. So that's the
There's
good
more
news.
than
Yeah,
I didn't need a berry.
that's fine. Yeah, you can wait. But anyone who did, yes, that's what you would look like. Yeah.
So that explains why I turned into
I
a male. It's the default setting.
Oh, this is gonna be a new experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before Sio eats the fruit, she will confer with the group if they think she should just disguise herself as a woman. She will throw in the caveat, depending on when we go, the spell only lasts for roughly an hour, and I only have 2 spell slots. So I can last 2 hours as a woman, or should I just eat the fruit?
I
Eat the
think it
fruit.
would be safer to eat the fruit. We don't want anything happening to you, and we don't know how long it will take us to be in the city.
And if we're with you when something happens, that might be bad for us too.
And by the way, so Erasmus in particular, CEO is going to have this happen as well, and Gretna, you will certainly have this happen. Anyone who is far enough away from human, it is that much more painful. Erasmus, it's so bad for you because not only is your mass shrinking as you do this, but literally it's like your shell gets ripped and breaks off your body and then reabsorbed into your little flesh again. So it's like you have these small bones seeping through everything, cutting you up while you get transformed. It's horrifically bad. No one's making checks or anything, but it is horrifically bad for you when you transform. Gretna, it's very bad for you because you grow, which means all your bones break and reform as you're doing it. This is not a nice transformation. This is a very awful transformation, and no one is looking forward to the fact that when it's over, you have to go through this again. It's that bad.
Hey, Chris, on a scale of human to turtle, where do you place Tritons?
You're also in the same boat. It's very painful because your bones are also, I believe your bones are also technically like hollow, but truly hollow to like make you lighter in that sense too, and you have to like fill up and go through it. So
Mm.
it's you're still in a lot of pain too, but nowhere near Erasmus, Gretna. CO, your horns literally get ingrown in your skull as it's happening, and then they get shredded in. It's awfully bad for you as well. So just keep all that in mind. It's this is a bad situation for all of you. You do not want this to happen again, but you know it's going to happen in like 8 hours, 9 hours. So
I thought you
Yes.
said days.
no, this is hours. I'm sorry. Oh wait, no, I actually
I thought you said
no,
it
no,
was like
no.
2
I'm
days.
wrong. It is days. I'm totally wrong. It's days. Yeah. God, even the items that I create, I forget sometimes. So yeah, that's sad. It is days. Yeah.
Sio is absolutely going to go inside and eat this fruit because seeing how bad it was for everyone else, she knows she's going to probably end up screaming and would like to not draw attention to Umbra's house. So she's just going to go inside and do that business.
Just muffled screaming from the inside.
Oh, yeah. And she's going to leave Kiri outside too because she doesn't want him to flip his lid.
Yep.
I was kind of counting on being a girl. It's gonna be harder to get in as guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, one of the things that you're going to know as well is that it's and the thing you're going to have to figure this out between the group, but anything you need to hide has to be hidden well as well, like for instance your pseudo dragon. So
Umbra, how,
Yes.
odd question, how well fed are people here?
Well, hoarding food is illegal, so use your imagination.
So, trying to stuff Kiri under my tunic to look like I have a beer belly would be non advisable.
Oh, Chris, would I know?
Yeah, you would think it's probably a bad idea. What you would say though is that the monsters can eat these, so that means that the pseudo dragon can probably eat one if it has to. You might have to get another one though.
Well,
What
I can
if-
always dip back in for an extra.
Would I think it would be like maybe a good
Yeah.
idea to, instead of putting it in like the front, have it be on the back and be like a hunchback, and maybe that's the reason why like this person isn't fighting, is because they have a deformity?
You can ask Umbra, but Umbra, you will know instinctively that that's probably a terrible idea because
Deformities
the
are
people
probably
with the
terrible.
deformity, exactly, the deformities are not something that get put up with because
Worth a shot.
men have a very specific use here, and if you can't fulfill that use, you're of no use to Kaz. So yeah.
Yes, they get taken care with at a very young age. Unfortunately.
Then perhaps just having the pseudo dragon under your clothes and being as flat as it can.
Either that or in my pack, but
A hat.
Very tall hat.
I mean, unless Pirvin would like to venture once more into the jungle.
And I look back at the whole group with slanted eyes, specifically at Suyo. Like, do I really need to?
we don't find a good plan to hide Kiri. Unless, Umbra, you believe it's safe enough for him to stay here.
I mean, I've set up this abode to be somewhere relatively safe.
Yeah, Umbra has never been disturbed here, so he would know that. He's been able to live his life out here so far and not been disturbed. So
But what if we never make it back here?
Well, I highly doubt that we wouldn't be back here at least once.
Right.
The pseudo dragon can't go invisible or anything. He doesn't have any self chameleon skills.
Although, if I
Yeah, what
wasn't mistaken, wasn't the your dragon, wasn't it rather afraid earlier?
Yeah, was Kiri in his little chameleon bit when Umbra appeared?
yeah, and Carrie's not. Carrie doesn't love. He can overhear this, and he's already told you telepathically he doesn't actually love the idea of staying by himself. But if he has to, he will.
He would rather do that than eat the fruit.
I
Ye-
would be able to keep him hidden if they want to stay behind.
I think it's safest for you to stay here, Kiri. I wouldn't want you to go through this with the rest of us. I know you
He-
hate it, but it would be safest.
He says, "Okay, but you know, if you don't come back, then I'm just gonna like fly somewhere. Like this is really scary."
No, and I'm going to make it back to you one way or the other, I promise. But I think it would be best for you to stay here unless Umbra and Pirvin are willing to go get a fruit or I don't know. Kiri, I think you should stay here. I'm sorry.
Why do we?
Yeah,
need the
he will stay if you really want him to. He will. He
Yeah.
understands the situation. He just doesn't like this place at all. But he's willing to be reasonable and stay here and go through it. He will still be able to talk to you. The entire Burning Peaks is not large enough for your link to be broken in this case, and he will explain that to you. So he can still talk to you. If he runs into trouble, he's going to let you know immediately. So
I didn't use a berry, so don't we have one left?
No.
you do,
Oh wait. Oh, did we?
right?
I thought he grabbed. I thought they grabbed specifically enough for the. We calculated how many people needed one.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Actually, Piravin did only grab 5. I'm sorry. Yep.
Because Umbra and Mac didn't need one, but the rest of us did.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. I think the less people we bring to that city, the better. I usually am a single man team.
So, do you suggest we don't all go together? That some of us maybe stay away?
Oh no, I want everyone to go in, but I'm saying if this pseudo dragon can stay behind, then it stays behind.
Okay. Then Kiri will stay behind, and
Should we leave it? Should we leave Carrie some food just in case we're not back for a little bit?
yeah, we should just kind of get our story straight, get Kiri straight, and move from there.
Some kind
Yeah,
of plan to how we're getting in there.
Yeah, Akira says he'll be fine. He says if something happens, I'm going to sting it, and I'm going to let you know immediately, and then I'm going to fly away.
She'll just chuckle out loud because she imagines Kiri said that just to her.
Yeah, he did.
We should be fine, but we should, before venturing out, make a plan. A good course of action. We don't even know where the sword is. We don't even know how we're going to get it.
It's a good question.
Is that something in your repertoire of knowledge, Umbra?
What
Sword.
would be the best kind of like traders to be? That wouldn't get us in trouble for having something illegal.
Well, you're asking for a magical weapon. I'm afraid there's going to be very little help. There's only maybe one contact that I know within the city, but it's a slim chance, and bringing you all there might bring a lot of attention.
Right. That's just it too. We need to figure out who we are, what we're doing. Are we soldiers? Are we merchants?
Well, do you have a cart? Do you have goods to trade?
I can get some of my toys out. We can be toy makers, or I can be a toy maker.
I don't think they have toys here.
We corner the market.
Umbra, you're not exactly sure of this, but you think that bringing any kind of unwanted attention, especially things like toys, might be dangerous.
Maybe go a little bit lower profile than toys, exactly.
Puzzles?
Keep going, big boss.
Pictures.
Our own weapons?
They really
Weapons.
discourage the arts in this city.
So
Oh, this place in this entire dimension can go straight to hell.
You're in hell, Erasmus. More or less, we're already in
Super hell. Send this to super hell.
Would it be passable, do you think, Umbra, for us to present to soldiers and we're selling our wares now that we no longer need them? Since we're so old, we're of no use to fight?
If you're all soldiers, then where's your armor? Where's your training? Who did you command? Who was your officers? You need to know these things.
And would it be possible that we scrapped items off of dead soldiers, coming back to the city to sell them, turn them something?
Well, see, that's where it gets difficult. I've only ever seen the soldiers go into the Ashen Wastes, and I have seen very few return. I've only seen one soldier, and he was long since deceased in the jungle. Very precipice.
Do they give like rewards for killing some of the monsters in the jungle, or they just let them go?
Umbra, you would know that no one really does. Like the soldiers do occasionally try to push the monsters back, but no one draws attention to themselves enough to like go through and brag about killing monsters. If they did out of necessity and just didn't tell anyone, probably. But you could. But Umbra, you think to yourself maybe you could theoretically be a group of soldiers that were out calling the forest and come back maybe, but you're iffy about it. You don't know if that would work truly or not.
There's some very obvious ways of determining if we were telling the truth or not, so I will leave that up to the group as a whole. I have my own ways in and out of the city. Um, I pose as my own certain persona of sorts. Um, I have this. I pull out a small box of tools and set it down. It looks like a little smithing's tool set. I don't know jack shit about these, but I
Yep.
Put on a face.
I'm a mason. I'm a stonecutter.
Oh.
Would that work?
I'm a smith.
It's quite possible. Yes, you could be a traveling tradesman.
I can make armor and things that are not armor.
Well, it certainly would be possible. I'm sure there'd be work for us in the city, especially when it comes to smithing armor. It's kind of their whole thing.
They're starting to formulate a plan.
Merchants it is, it sounds like, and their own variation on that.
Okay. So should I hide Bimmy?
Might be
That
bad.
seems in the realm of magic. I would hide him if I were you.
Leave him here. Bemmy, of all things, would probably draw attention because, first, it's craftsmanship, but like Umbra said, is magically inclined.
Yes. If you want, you could probably leave them here as well.
Oh, I should leave some of my magic items then. The Demonomicon stay if I tell it to stay?
No, but the Demonomicon is invisible at will, so you can make it invisible.
Okay, we're gonna have to do that, but it's still gonna float around.
Yep.
Umbra is staring as this floating pink fire book. Do you mind if I take a look at that?
You can try. Not
Oh,
gonna be able to read it.
Oh, are you sure? Have you ever had anyone else try?
Yeah, I've tried.
Yeah, so you take a look at it as you go through. It's not it looks like maybe it could have been infernal, but when you go to like open it, all you see are moving squiggles of lines. Every now and then they flash out at you and blind you very, very briefly and then go back. It is completely and utterly unreadable.
Well, that would certainly draw attention. Do not bring that into the city. That's a bad idea.
Anything magic that we have we should leave here?
Anything that can't be readily hidden on your person, do so.
I have a bunch of magic things I can enchant. Should I de-enchant them all?
Like what?
Well, Bimmy's magic, and let me check. What do I have currently going? That's it. That's all I have going right now. So just Bimmy, and I can make more things if need be, like a ring of spell storing, or a cloak that makes it harder for people to see you, but easier for you to hide.
Well, I would say maybe leave Bemmy here. They seem quite loud in circumstances.
Okay. I'll de-infuse him, and he turns down into a much smaller clockwork bird as his battle mode deactivates, and I'll tell him to go to sleep, and then I'll put him in my pocket. What do I do about the steel defender that I have strapped to my back?
You could leave that here as well. There's actually a loose floorboard where you see he opens it and there's just like a bunch of trinkets and like a jar of dried mushrooms and like a few like blank pieces of parchment and like a small box of like looks like pieces of charcoal and like a few whittled down like pencils or something. Well, you can leave them in here. Anything that's small enough to hide if you feel comfortable.
And by the way, that's where your pseudo dragon will be as well. He's gonna see that and go through it. He can sleep in there and be okay. He is going to ask you though if you can just make sure that Umbra shows him how to get out and everything, but that's where he's going to be.
Yes, it's a loose floorboard. You can push it up from the inside.
I'll take the steel defender and like just throw it down the hole.
Actually, I have an idea. We could I put it in the corner and throw a few sheets over it, and there's just dirty rags that in the corner. Looks like I sleep there.
He was so
What if-
possessive of it. It doesn't do anything.
What about like my book? It's just a book. I take the helmet off. That's obvious.
No, the book is not. So I thought you had seen it. That book is super ornate and very valuable looking.
My blue book?
No, I thought you meant the book you used to level.
Well, that I'm leaving too.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah.
You,
But also the blue book, the Mastiff figurine I'm sticking in there. And what about the arcane focus that Erasmus made us?
Holy shit! Can I?
The friendship bracelet?
No. You made us the art out of the metal, that crazy metal.
Oh yeah, I had to de-infuse that.
Yeah.
Oh, you de-infused that?
Well, yeah,
Yep.
because it's magic. I can re-infuse it if you want.
No. That's okay. Yeah.
So now it's
no.
just regular. It won't detect as magic.
Oh, well, I've been using that. Okay, hold on.
No.
May
I
I
mean, I've
see-
kept the infusion up the whole time.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, so yeah, just de-infuse it. Fine.
May I see that book of yours?
No.
The ornate leveling book. I point it.
Mm-mm.
I'm not sure you would know it's the leveling book, but yes, the ornate book. The
I'm
ornate
just
gold book.
pointing it. I mean that. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in character.
yeah.
I'm pointing at that
Oh,
specific
gotcha.
book.
Yeah.
Well,
Shoo.
Yeah. Miles hasn't seen them, so but Miles also has one, so this is a good time for you to look at that. So go ahead and talk, and I'll bring that up.
I'm not leaving a replier.
oh, that's fine. That's just the sword. You should be fine.
Don't let him hear you say that. You're not just a sword.
Yeah, it doesn't respond.
holy shit. I'm flipping through the pages of the book. I'm looking at the map. I'm looking at the spine. Well, where did you get this?
It was given to me as a gift. Give me back.
By whom? Wait. By
Me.
whom?
It was given by me.
By you.
Yes.
What?
You were the one that made these books.
Shh, quiet now.
You made these books. Is that true?
No.
Maybe. That's why they call me Big Boss.
I'm just shaking my head.
I'm probably gonna insight check. Yeah.
I mean, he's awful at lying. No matter what you get, you can tell.
I'll admit you seem good, but you don't seem that good. And plus, you seem a bit young for when I found mine.
You're young.
I'm older than you.
Well,
I think.
you smell, so I didn't just. All right, we'll call it a draw.
You live out in the woods. What's your excuse?
This is my natural musk.
Sure. Well, hopefully your natural musk helps us when we sneak into the city. And I hand the book back to Gretna.
Thank you. I'm gonna
Thank you
put it
very
in the thing here. I don't want anything to happen to this. So yeah, we're coming back.
does my book stick out like a sore thumb?
Wait, you all
Oh,
have
wait.
books.
We are happy to explain that later. More or less, we all got them as we assigned to delve into the Tomb of Horrors.
Books.
From Brotherhood, they
You were
issued
given
them
the
to
books
us.
as a payment.
I'm sorry.
You were given the books as a payment to go into a crypt?
Well, it was part of the equipment that they gave us. They gave us the offer of money should we return, which is the intent, but they gave us funds to buy supplies, and they gave us these books as a means of learning our skills and our practice as we continue.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so this is what you also have in your possession as well, Miles, which is why you have to keep it so hidden.
Copy.
Yeah. So they do stick out quite a bit.
Does mine technically stick out? Because I know it looks different from those.
Yours does not. Yours you're good with.
Okay,
Yours
cool.
is fine.
I
Yours
did
is not even close to this. Yeah.
I didn't
Yours doesn't stick out at all. Yours is actually just like more of a normal like journal book or whatever. You can pass yours off as but no. Everyone else, yeah, this is definitely going to cause some attention, and looks like it's going to be worth money. So
And Chris, I think by now I probably would have had like a small pack with like a false bottom or a hidden compartment or something.
Yep. Yep.
That that I would have probably been able to tuck mine in. Probably not big enough for everyone's, but
Yeah.
well, that.
There's
and
also
you
the bag
all
of
have
holding. We
these.
can't bring that in.
Oh, true.
You can also feel free to leave that here. I open up the floorboards once more. Well, this is all quite interesting, I'll admit. Alright, so I would suggest everyone just use their regular names because, I mean, it's not like they're gonna know any of you. But we all are a blacksmith guild. I mean, I've snuck into the city under the guise before, so it should be fine, I suppose.
Well, you said we're not supposed to go all together, so I can just be a mason by myself.
That's good with me. We'll go in 2 groups and meet within the city.
Okay, so it only takes with a brisk walk, it only takes 25-30 minutes walking to get to the city. Before we leave, does anyone want to do anything else, or are we good to go?
Yes, I would like to. I decided to take the subclass for sorcerer of psionic,
Mhm.
whatever it is. It lets me create one psychic link with one person, and the link stays intact for a set number of miles. I would like to do that psionic link with Umbra, since he knows his way around here. If we get separated, I could at least ask him what to do.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm going to break down Bimmy into his 3 components. It's the first time anyone would see him be disassembled.
Yep. Cool.
I hang a few of the tools on the outside of, like, there's a small, like, sash, and I hang a few of them outside of my robe, and I'll volunteer to go first with the group, and we'll all meet at the market. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Chris, when we took that potion,
Mhm.
or not that potion, but
Yeah, I know what
when
you mean.
we took that dead baby.
Yep.
Did all our armor kind of like polymorph?
It did.
fuse
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
this?
No, it
Okay.
did. It did. Yeah. Fortunately for you, it did. Same thing happens with the monsters as well, if they have anything or whatever. So you have no idea how this works, but it absolutely did. So you are able to take your gear
Cool.
with you. Yeah.
I can still activate my power armor.
Yep. Yep. All right. So it's only a 25 to, like I said, 25-minute or so walk, as long as you walk briskly. Um, the only thing is that everyone will have to make a dexterity check because we're going to be very, very close to the silvered mist as you go down, and you're also going to go, at a decent pace. I know everyone will be careful, but you'll go ahead and make your dexterity checks, and then once we pass that area, you will cross the river again, and then we'll get back on the main road.
Suyo will give everyone guidance, and she will be the last one to go across the.
Okay. Remember, you're in many areas dangerously close to the forest that you have no idea if it's going to be a problem. So you're okay
Oh
out
well.
here, but this is where it gets really bad, which is why you have to cross all the way over here. This is where you're actually making the dexterity check, and then you come through, cross the river, and you can be on the road. So if you get burned, it's here.
Is it
in this
check or
area.
save?
It's actually it's a check. I'm sorry, it's a check.
Okay, because I
Okay,
thought it
well-
was save last time.
Was it a save last time?
Because you said that basically everybody was gonna be like touching it, and so the check was just to see
Oh,
how badly you touched it.
You know what? That is true. That is 100% true. Yep, you're right.
Does that mean
You
I
can
get to
use the-
re-roll?
Yes, you
Good.
can reroll. You can reroll because it has to be a save because there are other things that can affect it. You're absolutely right.
I cast
You are getting
resistance.
affected. Yep.
Cast resistance on everyone, so you get to add a
Yep.
d4 to your roll, which I will roll.
Yep. Yep.
I rolled a d3 for everyone to have guidance as well.
Guidance doesn't
That
affect
is a
saves.
nat 1 for Pan.
Okay.
But resistance effects saves. So everyone gets to add a 3 to it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Pan
So,
fails.
wait. Sorry, so I get 3 from from CO and 3 from Erasmus?
No, just 3 from Erasmus.
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
say guidance is just for checks.
So yes, I do
Resistance-
fail.
Okay. All right. So, what did everyone else get? I can't see it through my.
19.
14.
Also, Kaylee, you still have your other character loaded.
Okay.
Uh,
14. You're fine. Yep.
Oops. 14, and let
Yep.
me change my character.
19.
Okay. Did
Shit,
anybody
what?
get lower than 12? Besides Pan.
No, not me.
No.
CO is Kaylee is switching to her other character at the moment. She has not technically rolled yet.
Okay.
It was there's CO.
Alright.
Here we go.
It's gonna be lower now. Watch it. There.
It's gonna be with a 3, a 12.
11.
11.
Yeah, you didn't make it either. So that's fine. So hold on, let me do so Pan, you actually, so it burns you bad enough that you take 9 points of damage, which is actually a significant wound. So you just get off into where like you lose your balance just a little bit too much, and your arm gets like seared off, the basically like the skin gets like blistered and everything. It's pretty awful. I mean, it's very painful. Um, uh so CO, you also going through that and seeing that, it kind of like just basically gives you bad luck, because you think to yourself, okay, I'm definitely not going to get burned like this, and then you get burned. You actually take 12 points of damage. And it's the same kind of thing where like your arm gets like basically like burned through it. It's not so bad that this would come up as like you walk in and people are going to like think you were in a battle or anything, but there's blisters on you and stuff. This thing, it's also, as you guys now feel it the first time, it doesn't actually affect you all at once, meaning that the burn seeps up on you. Like you get hit by it and you're like, oh, this was actually, thank God it wasn't that bad. And then it's just overwhelming pain with these blisters and other things. So it actually feels cold in the very beginning as well as you hit it. There's actually a chill to it, and then it goes through and starts
Well,
hurting. So
I will roll a d4 to see who he casts Cure Wounds on.
Yep.
Odds will be Amanda, evens will be Kaylee.
I'll take the other one.
All right, well, he's going to go with CO because you rolled a d4.
Yep.
Okay.
So
and I'll-
you
Yep.
CO heals for 9.
Okay. I'll give Erasmus a pat on his scruffy human head now.
Hate
All right,
being-
cool.
No, wait.
Now, as you both get healed, a flash.
I got 12. I mean 11 for whoever I did.
So a flash of light that you've never seen before ever, Gretna, envelops their whole bodies and then literally goes to the ground and seeps into the ground around it. And now there's a 10-foot radius worth of just cindered earth around them.
Okay, this is not a coincidence.
Did
Wait.
it happen to me when I cast it?
Yes, the same exact thing happened as well.
I am the fire.
No.
You
It
singed
means
the earth around
anytime we
you,
do
so-
magic, something's gonna happen. Everybody's gonna know we do it.
Well,
No,
let me,
anytime we do your magic does not mesh well with this place.
Divine.
It's divine in the worst way possible.
That would make sense for this
I-
area.
I can test this.
Maybe we
I already
shouldn't
have.
tell
I
her
cast
to-
spells.
Maybe we shouldn't
But
not draw attention.
But when he did it, so when you heal people, even if you're not divine, like Erasmus just isn't, it still does it.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay.
As long as it's a certain type of something, that is right. It seems like he might have a good guess there, but it has something to do with maybe that kind of magic is your only guess. Gretna, go ahead and do an Arcana check to try to figure this out,
Sure.
Can I
because you would
roll-
obviously be very interested in this. So
Since it just happened to me, could I roll as well?
yep, you can do it too.
16.
20.
All right. So Gretna, you think that it might have something to do with the fact that it's, maybe it has something to do with the fact that it's a divine source or something else. And Erasmus, you're starting to figure out that healing in any form here might actually be able to be turned against things that would not necessarily like being healed. You don't know if this will affect the monsters, but it's very well that it could. But certainly, maybe things that are already dead, this might actually end up being overly potent or overly powerful. Healing might end up being incredibly damaging.
Like I said last time, it's divinity rules. Larian approves.
From a meta perspective, though, and I will give you a hint on this, Gretna, you are actually the group's damage dealer right now by a large margin.
Fucking hell.
Hope you got health potions. They could be grenades.
God, the white mage becomes the black mage.
Huh. Okay, guys. They really don't like divine things around here. Kind of makes sense.
The holy
Yes.
hand grenade is just a potion, a healing potion.
Mhm.
Chris, would I know like what they do at the checkpoint? Like how they go about
Yeah. I
checking?
mean, the good news is that surprisingly, there's not much of one. So you can actually go in because the way that the guards patrol, you just don't use it because, quite frankly, you don't want people to remember that you're not dead or older than you should be. So that's why you're going in the back entrance. But there's not really a check per se in the very front. It's just that you do run into patrols every now and then, and you also occasionally will run into like a procession. But other than that, it's safe.
All right.
You do think to yourself, you know what? If I go in with a bunch of people, it probably is okay. If I went in by myself, that's going to draw attention. But if I'm just going to be in the middle of a group, assuming the group can pass off to whatever they were, you would think reasonably that's probably fine.
I usually go in with a group anyway, so
Yeah.
it'll be fine. I'm just going to have to stick in the center if that's okay.
Be
Okay.
fine. Tell us where to go, I guess.
Okay. All right. So Umber will
We
lead you
can all-
to the front, like so. Once you guys pass the river, and you get right back onto the road, which is right here, you start to look at the actual city and how not only large this is, but you also notice that the walls surrounding Torgarok, they actually vary in width from 10 to almost 20 feet thick in very strategic places where, for instance, the more vulnerable strategic places would be thicker. It ranges in height from 25 to 40 feet where this wall is constructed. Looks like it was constructed hastily, but it's still made out of solid stone. However, there's a trench 8 to 10 feet deep that circles the entire wall all the way around. And then in that is a foot of this stagnant, awful, viscousy red, like liquid, probably from the river. And it's just sitting there, obviously like disgustingly stagnant. Some of it has already started to coagulate on the sides. But the thing that does actually surprise people is that the wall, for whatever reason, is also wet, and there's this wet like black slime covering the wall and other areas as well. It looks like it's probably moss. This is going to make it so it's pretty impossible to uh, basically climb over. It looks like it'd be way too slippery. The gate is open, and inside you can see that most of the buildings are just cold stone with like thatch and wood. There's no ornate, like basically flamboyance to any of the buildings that you can see so far. It looks actually pretty dreary on the inside. And this is the entrance of the city. So this is the gate here. So as you can see, as you start walking down this area, you do notice that there's actually a pier. You don't see any boats docked on it, but there is a pier with a bunch of buildings on this side going through it, and it looks like they are outfitted for some kind of ship. Umbra, you have never seen a ship ever come through here through your entire time. So this thing here, which is actually called the minor gate, as you can see in the map, but this area here, it does have two large, spindly. There's basically wooden structures that look like towers that go all the way up, and on top of the towers are these metal spines that have been grafted in it, probably just to look menacing. And it does look a bit dramatic. And these spines are going through and like sticking out in all areas. Um, you can walk through, and assuming everyone does go ahead and start cautiously walking through the city, you notice that it is a bit empty, much more empty than you expected. So this is a very condensed, packed city. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of houses. You can't tell as you go through. And as you start to walk, Umbra, the first place that you would show them to get into the city proper is to go into this market area here because it's much, much easier to see where the patrols are coming because this is the only area where there's actually like not a lot of houses around and you can get to the edge and start looking out. And Umbra would have taken you there. Also, Miles, your character happens to also be in the market and sees these fine people like walking through. There's only you, the group that comes in, and 5 other people in the entire market. This has been the most like you guys came in expecting at least to see something or someone. Very, very few people are out in the street, and it's very, very quiet for the fact that this is a very dense back city with must have thousands upon thousands of people within it.
Absolutely. I think I'm just gonna watch them to see what they do first.
Yep.
Well, I would probably try and look. I'm
But you
going
did
to.
come in without anyone noticing you. There wasn't any patrols here, no guards. You saw a total of maybe 6 or 7 people, and every single person you saw, they just kind of hurried past you, looked down, didn't look at you at all, kind of just want to get out of your way, and that's it. So this is better than you expected, I think, for the group. Like this is actually pretty easy getting in.
Do you want to wait here? Try not to make too much of a scene. I'm going to loop around.
Yep. Now within this market, it's very intense. All of them are basically flatted canvas that are brown. No, there's no markings on the tents themselves. As a matter of fact, the vendors are also kind of looking down. In every market you've ever been, you expect the vendors to be like basically having people try to come over, whatever. Some of them have their wares set out. It looks like a lot of these are food vendors. Some of them do have various crude weaponry. And one of the vendors that you're looking at on the tents actually has um, what looks like a bunch of like bags set out, maybe for like traveling. You're not sure. And then everyone else, their wares are actually in the back, tucked away, and they are just standing forward, eyeing everyone to see if you're about to come over. Looks like you would have to literally come over to see what they're putting out. They're not going to put it out on the thing. No one has a smile on their face. Everyone looks pretty grim, almost annoyed, and they're going through it. But everyone in the market is getting eyed, including your character, Miles. And you would know this is just the way it is. Like no one talks to you, no one reaches out to you, whatever. They're just waiting for you to come over to talk quietly and do their business. So.
Before Umbra goes and does his thing, I was going to ask if they need to buy something so they don't, so they're not suspicious that they're just hanging in the market.
Yes, of course. Buy whatever you wish.
And from this area, you do have a good look out because now this is a large area going through it. You don't see any patrols coming right now in any direction. You should be able to see them coming in a reasonable amount of time. Like you'll have a 10-minute head start if you see them.
But before you do so, what does your money look like?
Yeah, that's what CO is going to ask too. She'll kind of turn herself closer towards Umbra so that her coin purse isn't super noticeable, and she'll just open it up and kind of.
Yeah, Umbra, you've never seen this currency before in your entire life. You have no idea what this is. It looks far better than what you're used to, which is literally just stamped metallic coins. Most of them are all the same color. Only one of them is a coppery color. And to denote the worth, it's just different sizes. With the face of Kaz stamped on them, you can't use these.
Yes, these are no good here.
Do you have anything you'd be willing to leave with us in case we need to act as though we're shopping for wares?
I drop a bag of 10 gold in their hand.
Yeah.
Don't spend it all in one place. Pirvin, you're with me.
I wink at him.
Okay.
We're gonna go get some food because I'm almost out.
I can make food, but maybe I shouldn't.
Really?
Never mind.
fish here.
Is it good?
It's okay.
Okay, we'll get a little bit of food, but you've piqued my curiosity because food's kind of shit here.
I can cook.
Okay, we will revisit this because I'm very interested now, knowing what you can all do and knowing the items. Anyway, yes. But I need rations.
All right, so
Okay.
the group is splitting up. Which ones are going one way and which ones are staying here?
I'm staying.
Staying as well.
I'm walking with Pirvin around the market. I'm probably gonna pick a far stall to the people that are just watching, and I'm gonna stand in front and tell Pirvin to loop around and try and just pocket whatever's the easiest to take. This is what I
Yeah,
normally
and
do.
the only
Okay.
so Pirvin, the only things that you would be able to take at this point is just 2 stalls, and that's because they have things open. The real problem though is that this is not your average market. They're just staring at you intently. It's going to be incredibly hard to steal here. Possible, but hard. You're gonna need a distraction, and it's still gonna be hard. They
Well,
expect almost like they expect you to steal or something because they are eyeing you and the group like intensely, and there's no one else here for them to have their attention divided on.
What
never
kind of
mind
stall
then.
am I at right now?
Yeah, so there's only 2 that are decent. Both of them are food stalls, and when you get up close to them to see what's going on, it looks like they're actually some kind of chopped meat that's been cooked, but because it's chopped and cooked, you actually don't know exactly what it is, but it's a decently sized hunk of meat, and they have several laid out. Only 2 of them are different from the rest, and those are dried meat. All of them are bigger than a large ham. Umber, you would know that this is literally a beast from the forest that they go in and try to kill. It's not as dangerous as the others.
Oh, that's sweet.
This is a common food source. It's not the best, but okay. It's very stringy. Yeah, it's relatively cheap too. This is only like 3 or 4 silver.
Oh, that's. Maybe we should nix this for the time being. I don't
Okay.
know why it seems extra desolate here today.
We have stuff back at your house. You should have asked then. We could have just provided you with what you needed. Especially after all
Well,
you've done.
I appreciate it. I've never met anyone that was willing to give me food, so I appreciate it.
Our group is a very special individual group. From the things that I've dealt with and how they are with me, yeah, they're family.
Well, I appreciate it. So I guess we should go find the others. Maybe we could take a walk around town.
Okay.
But here it kind of looks like a bust. I whisper
Should
to him.
we hold hands or?
Why do you want to hold hands?
Not necessarily, but I'm just asking.
No, just walk. Don't make it weird.
Okay.
I would
So
put
I'm
my
just,
head
like,
down.
Now,
watching these
as
people. Yeah, go for
yeah,
it, Chris.
exactly. I was gonna say
See
as you start to walk a little north, though, you notice this Umbra. You haven't seen this before. There's actually a brand new inn that's open that you have never ever noticed, and certainly the last couple times you've been there, because you don't normally come on this side. You come over on the other side unless you can get in with a group. So there is an inn. It says that it's named Lefties. Never seen it before. And you're a little surprised because inns don't generally do well here because there's not really any visitors. But what they do is they double as places for like the guards to sleep. And if you're having problems where you are, or maybe hiding from someone or whatever, sometimes they double as that as well. Which is why sometimes they don't last. But it's here, and it's definitely something that you noted. It's called Lefties.
Hey, what's that? Points
I'll
to
be
a
honest.
sign.
I've never seen that one before.
I am all too familiar with this kind of business. Maybe we should stop in.
Maybe. Sure.
All right.
Now, one thing that you would know instinctively, by the way, is you will not take them over on this side, and the reason why, because you don't go over there either, is because this is where the barracks are, and it's very obvious once you get closer. You'll see that too many soldiers on this side. So
So are you guys heading towards the inn?
Yes.
All right. I'm definitely gonna tail the two that are heading towards the inn.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think that considering how they're acting and how they're behaving, right? I've flipped
Yep.
open my
sure.
pocket watch.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the glint is shining across all of you.
Yep.
So I
One
know
goes
I have a
to-
sense of what's going on.
Yep.
And I'm gonna follow the two that are breaking away and heading towards lefties. What do I know about lefties, Chris?
Yeah, so Lefties opened up. Lefties opened up like 3 or 4 months ago. You know that it hasn't had a ton of visitors, and so far you've actually kind of kept away from it because you
Yeah.
you think that like it's just a matter of time before the daggers get in there and like break it up and possibly murder the innkeeper. For the fact is, inns just do not last because they just seem too suspicious in general. But for whatever reason, this person's decided to be brave enough to go through it. So you don't love the idea of getting in there, but maybe you can get in there and help them. So
Okay. Cool. Then I'll tail them in there.
Yeah.
See what their business is.
okay. All right. So if you guys, as you guys go through, you actually notice that there is an older, much older than you expected to see, Umbra, gentleman in there that seems incredibly nervous. He actually sees you. You're the only people in there. He's like hello, and he's very very excited for you to come in. He says, my name is Skirin, and this is my inn. And how's everybody doing?
Fine, I suppose.
So you wanna stay in the room? You having problems at home? You can stay right here. 5 gold apiece.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't.
Bro,
have
that's
that
an
much.
insane amount of money too, by the way. You
Um,
would know that that's like insanely expensive for this, but yeah.
Might I ask why the steep price?
Well, it's you know, business expenses.
Okay.
Not making much money off of your 5 gold pieces.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't have that. It was a new place. I haven't, seen it around these parts in a while.
At
so-
this point, he's going to also notice that you have come into the inn as well behind them and was coming in. He says, "Oh, look, see, you have competition. Look, I only have a couple rooms, and he's behind you as well. Come on, come on.
promise you
My rooms
for
are
the fun.
5 gold. As a matter of fact, if you take the room right now, I'll give it to you for 4.5 gold. And then when you ask me again, it's going to be 6 gold for each of you."
It was already a no with the 5. It's definitely going to be a no with the 6. I promise you.
You don't
Uh,
you don't want to stay here, friends. And 5 gold is an absolute. He's ripping you off, and we all know it.
Well,
Look,
the man looks at the innkeeper looks around. He's like, "What are you talking about? What?"
And
Get out of
standing in
my
the
head.
standing in the doorway, right, is this huge dude who's like 6'5" and weighs like just shy of 300 pounds, just like absolutely massive, with like long black hair and this like dark face and these eyes that are like pits. They look like, and his face is like looks like it's way down. He's 20, you can see, but you can see the wrinkles already forming in the corners of his eyes and across his mouth and cheeks. And he looks down or across at you, depending on how tall you are, and says, "Listen, strangers, I don't mean to be presumptuous, but this is no place for upstanding people to stay. Look,
well,
He says, I am shocked by this, and if you think I'm afraid of you or the daggers or death or anything, you better watch out, because I'll stab you in the eye."
Am I there? Am I there right now?
I'm walking out silently. I'm
I don't
getting
think
away
you
from
guys
all
follow.
this.
I don't think
Okay.
you actually followed in.
Good.
Yeah.
great. As they're
Alright, I'm
leaving,
holding-
I'm just gonna silently stare him down
Yep.
and turn and walk away. I'd love to roll an intimidation just to
Yeah,
get
you
this
can.
motherfucker to shut up.
You can roll intimidation. Yeah.
Irvin, I'm holding your hand now because I'm leading you away from this.
He is actually surprisingly good at this, considering that he is. Well, go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, that's a 15.
Okay. Yeah, he says, no, I don't. You just put your little face up there and go, la la la. It doesn't bother me. I'll stab you in the eye.
Let's get
Good
the
luck
fuck outta here.
reaching it. And then I turn and walk out after.
This
these
is a
people.
frail old man, by the way. You are also surprised that this
I
guy
know,
is as old as he
I know,
is.
right?
You're a little confused on how, because this man looks like he's in his late 50s. He's old. He's old for this town.
This dude's a badass.
But anyway, he, by the way, as you guys were leaving, he did actually take out what looks like a really crude metallic like spear, but he doesn't follow you.
Great. Amazing. Um, so as following after them, I say, look, friends, I know you don't belong, and I know you have allies over there. Let's get out of the street.
I mean no disrespect. I don't mean any trouble with any of the daggers. I'm sorry for interrupting you. The room is yours if you want. Good day.
I don't want the room. I want a chance to speak to all of you, including your friends.
I have no idea what you mean. I am here, just the two of us.
You do me and yourself a disservice, friend. You have more of you standing right over there, and I point at the group of people.
Oh
Look
yes.
at us.
Well, they're just a guild of blacksmiths, of mason. Oh, she's a mason. The rest of us are blacksmiths.
Tall
Hey.
freak pointing at us.
Do we see him pointing?
Yeah, I mean, you guys would probably be interested seeing that there's someone else now with the two of them and everyone's kind of on alert. Yes, you would see.
I will immediately, when I see someone pointing at us, I will use my telepathic ability with Umbra and tell him to get his new friend to stop gesticulating at us, making us more noticeable than we already are.
I
Does
stick
he
my
look
tongue
like a
out at him.
dagger?
He's not wearing the cloak, so he's actually not wearing the cloak. But to be fair, daggers can absolutely
don't
be
have to wear the
undercover
cloak.
and do all kinds of things. But he's not wearing the cloak. No, it'd be very rare for him to be a dagger and not wear the cloak. It's not unheard of though. But he's not wearing it.
Look, like I said, I mean you no trouble, and me and my friends have done nothing wrong. We've just entered the city.
You haven't done anything wrong, but that doesn't mean the people aren't looking for you.
What? No, I swear. Why? Who's looking for us?
Friend,
I'm walking.
friend,
What?
I know not your name, but I know what your friends are, and I don't mean them any harm.
What are you talking? My friend. I don't know what you mean.
They're not from here.
Maybe this isn't the best place to have this conversation.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Let's go. Follow me.
I
If
tell
this guy
CO,
keeps
alright,
staring
follow
at
me
us-
at a distance.
If this guy
Yep.
keeps staring at us, I'm gonna politely ask him to leave. No, aggressively ask him to leave.
Crassus, not now. Apparently, we need to follow him. It's important.
At a distance, I don't know what he's up to, but he knows about you.
Follow you
All right.
at about 40 feet behind. I'll
Yep.
very quietly relay that to the group that we might be had, but this person supposedly is willing to help us. We're to follow him at a distance, and once they're a good distance off, Theo will kind of try to casually lead the group, like throw her head back towards the direction Umbra and the others left. She'll just kind of casually try and get the group to meander that way.
Okay. Yeah. So this would be the kind of general location of where you're going. Your house, so you know.
Yeah.
I don't think you've said your name yet, but your house is right here,
Yeah.
and Banquo's got the
Yeah,
larger matching house on
absolutely.
that side. Okay.
Great. So I'm going to bring them to my place first.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys start traveling through the city, it's the same architecture everywhere. Thatch roofs, stone, pretty nondescript. Everything is awfully crowded and haphazardly built. Some of the houses are literally built almost on top of each other in varying angles and varying degrees. Like there was no kind of like city street structure or any kind of pre-planning. They're just crammed in and hastily built. So there's not really a direct route. You kind of just going into back alley after back alley after back alley. And as you start walking, you realize the city is mostly just back alleys, making it semi-dangerous in that respect as well, you would think, because it's very easy to get ambushed by criminals and other things because it's just very hard to see everyone. Because of the way it was built, it's very, very hard to even see what would function as like a real street. But but his character takes you through this expertly all the way through to get to his house, which only takes around 15 minutes or so. At this point, though, it would be very, very hard for any of you to remember exactly how to get back, just because of the fact that it is so confusing getting through all these back alleyways and going through it. But he does take you into his home and ushers you inside.
And
you can describe it if you want.
Yeah,
to. You can describe the
absolutely. I
inside.
mean, it's a tiny shithole, right?
Yeah.
It is a tiny shithole. You can tell that the walls are fairly thin, but also like no one's here right now because everyone's at work almost constantly. Because that's what you do here. So he like brings you in and closes the door behind you, and there's like clothes everywhere, and it smells a little bit like bachelor, right? And there's not a lot of like accoutrements or anything. There's like the bare bones that you might need to just like survive. Obviously, he doesn't cook here. Food gets distributed elsewhere. And the door locks behind him, and he turns around, and the glum, like dark, fallen face like spreads and opens into this smile, this like joyful grin of like discovery. And it's like watching a kid discover something new. And he says, so you're I'm sorry, this is a lot, but a lot of you aren't human, but you're not like monsters. You're you're something else, and you're not from here, right?
We kill him.
Well,
We're killing him.
Rastus,
Wait.
No, this is a new friend.
How do you know?
All
First of all,
dark
I
is-
was born in Florida.
No,
All
no,
dark
no,
and scary dies here.
no. Listen. I have no qualm with you whatsoever. We could be friends. We could be allies. We could be adventuring party members. But I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. What are you doing in the city? This is like a dangerous place for you.
Do you have something I could borrow in this tiny shithole to club you to death with?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
check this man's enthusiasm.
You are the
Overwhelming.
cutest, angriest turtle I've ever seen, man.
He's not a turtle right now.
I know.
No. But
I know,
he did.
but
He
I
did say
can-
it though. He did actually.
I
say that.
did say it.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
What?
How many other people like you can see us?
No one else.
How
No
do
one
you
else.
know?
How do
How
you
do you
know
know?
that?
I pull from my pocket this remarkably, I mean, it's very simple, but it's carefully made. It's like a pocket watch, right? Simple flat steel on the outsides. Maybe more like a compass might be a more accurate way to describe it. And as I pop it open, inside there's this kind of kaleidoscoped mirror. And as the light inside reflects across all of you, you see in the mirror your true selves.
Congratulations. That is almost exactly the way that I explained it to him. Very nice. But yeah.
Yes.
So we're. Help me find a rock or something, guys.
Wait.
Why does the turtle want to kill me? What's your name? I'm Philip. Their names are good. Names are a great way to make friends.
Don't say his name will get attached.
Rastus, look at me in the eyes.
Nuh-uh.
Rastus,
No.
It's lovely to
Not-
meet you, Philip.
I'm Umbra. I think I've seen you around here before.
Yeah, I run errands from the madhouse.
Oh, you're from the madhouse, are you?
That explains a lot.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Hmm.
but anyways, what are you doing in the city?
It's on a need to know basis, and you frankly don't need to know right now.
Is there why are you? I mean, I know why you're being so careful, but like I'm not the daggers, he says, like throwing himself on the bed, his huge form crunching. He's like a kid jumping on the bed, right? And his bed like bends and almost breaks underneath the weight as he like props himself on his elbow, on his chin.
Um,
See, I
God,
stand very carefully.
I didn't think we were gonna find a place that made Umbra's house look nice. But what do you know?
Hey, according to Gretna, my house is like 50,000 gold pieces. So
Yeah. You remember that wood?
Gretna.
the wood was unforgettable.
What?
Yes.
Do you have a
Yes,
Not
we're
sure.
taking his back door with us.
do you have a nice house?
Um,
So I guess I don't need to know why you're here, but I'm just saying I could help you, and you're I don't know how you're doing this thing where you're not who you actually are, but it's kind of amazing, and I'd love to learn that, and exchange for that I would help
No,
you.
you wouldn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love your energy, but you have to venture out into the jungle, and I don't think you're cut for it. I don't think you're cut
No,
out for the task.
Now, here's the thing. You have a different name for this place, but you kind of understand what he's saying. He's talking about the trees out there. You actually call it the Dark Forest. Most people in the city call it the Dark Forest. Umber doesn't know that.
Yeah,
Umber calls it the jungle.
I
But
like
yeah.
my eyes like squint, and I like cock my head a little bit, and I go, yeah, I've never been out there, but I think, well, I'm getting there to be ready. Maybe you could take me later. I mean, if you're going home, I mean, I have work and everything. It's fine.
Where
What
do
do
you
you
work?
what do you do for work? You look
I-
like a hat model.
Yeah, this turtle is awesome. No, I'm an orderly at the madhouse, and his face like falls again.
Clearly, architect.
Chris, would I know anything about the madhouse?
You know very little. You know that broken soldiers and people that for whatever reason don't get executed but are insane. And by the way, people break here more often than. So for you, yeah, there's lots of people that have entered the madhouse. It's semi-common to break here, and for whatever reason, they don't just execute them. They actually bring them over to the madhouse. Some of them do get executed. If you're crazy enough that you start killing people in the streets, you would know at common enough knowledge that those just get killed outright by the daggers and the soldiers, a lot of times publicly. But for the people who just break, especially the soldiers who break, all of them get shipped to the madhouse. That's what they call it too. No one knows what the real name is, but the slang term is the madhouse.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's I would
You're
say
an
there are no
order
good
prince.
jobs in Torgorak, but I think I have the worst.
I mean, I would say that the worst is a soldier, but
That's not the lucky soldiers work here. The unlucky soldiers don't work here. We both know that. So
Yeah.
he points at Umbra. You're from here too,
yes, I am.
and you're doing you're aging quick.
Yes,
Great.
older.
So I understand that you guys want to keep your errand to yourselves, and like secrecy is great, and compartmentalization is well, that's how you don't get caught by the daggers, or you don't let your friends get caught by the daggers, at least. So that I'm okay with that. And I'm sorry for bringing you to my my place first, but there's someone that you really ought to meet who might be able to help you more than I can. Um, if you'd be willing to go one further step with me.
I think we're in a point to deal with vagueness, so let's try a little bit less abstract plan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my friend. I call him Banksy, and he He lives like right down the block. And he has, and he like drops his head a little bit and drops his voice and he says, "Books." So he like knows
My
stuff.
God, books.
Do
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
do you,
books. He's like absolutely shocked that you were.
I've never
Banquo.
even read. Uh,
Do you mean
But-
Guy-
Banquo? Umbra says to you.
What was that?
Do you mean Banquo?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know?
wait, he's not bullshitting us.
Oh no, I love this guy. He's like my favorite guy in the city. Holy shit. Yeah,
Then
let's
let's
go
go.
there.
You know Banquo.
Of
Let's go.
course I know Banquo. Come on.
Amazing, amazing. Okay.
Yes.
We're
Philip,
better
can I ask you a
friends already.
question? Can I ask just how old are you?
How do I answer this question, Chris?
With a
So
number.
you actually give him your real how many years you've been alive. It's not how
Yeah, I'm
old
10.
you look. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Ah!
Yeah.
I'm not the youngest anymore.
Oh.
All right.
He looks like he's a 20-year-old man, but yes.
Mhm.
That makes me the
That's
boss.
the way
of-
he acted.
Well,
When is it safe to go there? Let's just go.
Yeah, let's go right
Let-
now.
let me go first. I know the knock and everything.
Good. Great.
But not be suspicious though. Large group
Yeah.
of people.
So if you guys do go out, it is right next door. There are houses in the way of the straight line going through it, so you have to walk around them to get through it. It's a little bit of a ways there, but Banquo has a much larger house. He actually has a decently sized house. It's got probably 5 or 6 rooms in it. Um, uh, he's been there for a long time and not been disturbed by the daggers, which is also something that neither of you have really ever figured out yourselves, although much more you, Philip. Umbra, you've only been here a couple times, but he's actually decently well known in the city as well, and no one's ever disturbed him for this. But anyway, you do go ahead and walk in, and it's a dusty old house. It's literally empty when you walk in. No furniture, no anything. The first room is completely empty. And after a little bit, an older man, also in his 50s, comes like waddling out, and he sees you, Philip, first, and he's like, "Oh, what? You brought company? Is this safe? Should I be worried?"
They're more
No.
than company.
They're
Thanks.
safe.
You know this one. He points to Umbra. I think, right?
Yeah, I've
Wave.
met him a few times. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And the rest of them, they're not from here. Thanks.
He says, "What?" He says, "Are you sure?" He
They're
said,
not
"Come in,
even
come in, come in." So he
like-
he ushers everyone back into. So you walk through 2 other rooms that are only sparsely furnished, meaning they only have chairs and tables. There's nothing really else inside this house. It actually looks like you expected to see some kind of furnishings or whatever. He looks like he would be wealthy per se, but everything is bare bones until you get to the back of the room. And there are many tables, 4 tables all set up. He ushers one of the other tables away and opens up a secret cache underneath this area that does have a ladder that goes down, and he brings everyone down, and sure enough, there is an entire library under here. Also, so Erastus, you would have noticed this. He actually does some kind of semantic component before he brings it down, because this is not just a hidden floorboard. He's doing some kind of very low level spell that literally makes the floors open up to you, meaning it can never be discovered through perception. It is just a normal like floor essentially. So he brushes everything down, and it's a dusty library. The bottomed out portion of this is actually all dirt. So it's a dirt like floor with all of these like shelves, and there's just hundreds of books in here. And he says, so he ushers you up, Philip. He needs your device, so he asks to have it, and he does look through it with everyone, and he says, I really can't believe it. I've seen, I don't want to scare you. We've only had 2 other visitors ever come, and none of them are currently alive. I've never seen this many. How did you get here? He's talking to the whole group.
How familiar with your? How familiar are you with the arcane?
He says, I'm decently familiar, but please tell me you're from Greyhawk. How did you get here?
You're not sorry
Yeah,
to.
What you
that
said you were from the outside world.
Greyhawk is, from our understanding, your area side of here, but not from. Not technically. Are we from Faerun?
Yeah. Everyone's from Faerun. Yeah.
I was just making sure.
Yep.
We're in Greyhawk. It's something we've heard of ourselves, but it's outside of our own world, I guess.
He said, welcome to Greyhawk. This entire area, and Philip, you've kind of heard him say that, but he's never really gotten to this. This entire area is a small portion of Greyhawk called Tovag, but it's obviously not the way that it was intended to be. But what do you mean you're not from Greyhawk? And you can see that he's like visibly shaken and very disturbed by this.
Does it look like a threatening disturbed, like he's gonna throw us out?
No, nothing like that. He's actually worried and terrified or scared at the fact that you're not from Greyhawk. And he's trying to resolve that in his mind. You don't have to do an insight check on this. He's not even trying to hide anything. So he says, where exactly are you from?
Faerun.
Ugh, I
Philip
don't.
like audibly gasps.
Yeah, I have no idea where that is. My entire life's work. Are you Faerun?
I'm gonna
You're
pull out.
from Faerun?
I want to pull out Replier and
Yep.
show it to him. You ever seen one of these before? We found it last time we were in Grey Hawk thing.
So he does take the sword. He said, "Oh, do not let the soldiers see this. You will most certainly get murdered for this." Um, I have not seen this, but and he looks, yeah, and he also looks. He, by the way, he actually looks at the gym, and he says, wait, hold on. And he takes out the compass again. He goes through it and he shines that into the gym itself. And sure enough, and he shows you this, Erasmus, when he shines this into the gym, deep into the gym, very tiny, is a shield symbol with what looks like a wolf and and maybe like it's so small that you can't make it out, but maybe like a stag and then maybe a sword going through it. He said, "That's the symbol for this free city of Greyhawk." My God, it is from Greyhawk. Where did you find this?
Hawk.
He said, "Where? Where?"
I don't know.
You said you're from Faerun.
I
Where?
touched. We touched the statue, and then we went to and there was Spurt and
Who?
Spearman.
He looks.
climbed
He kind of looks at everyone. And he's like, "Okay, I have no idea what you're saying." But he said, most importantly, though, he said, I have been my entire life. I have been researching. I have been holding out hope that there is a way out of this place, and maybe a way out for all of us in this place. And only to find out that the only time someone has ever breached here, they're not even from Greyhawk. This is terrifyingly bad for all of us. First and foremost, though, tell me, please, how did you get here? Because that's the only way we're getting out.
Well,
But-
then we're not getting out.
Yeah, we're not getting out. You don't want that.
We
He
took,
said, what do you mean?
took a one-way ticket with a wish spell.
What?
A wish spell. My God, those are real. He said, you actually cast wish?
It didn't go as planned.
Gretna did. She's the most powerful wizard of all time.
He's going to believe you. He looks over to Gretna and he says, Gretna, now, wish us away.
This.
No.
Umber's shoulders are just gonna slump.
Erasmus, I'm not a wizard.
Be clear, she's a cleric. A wizard is no longer.
Yeah.
with-
Every time I try and cast a spell around here,
She said,
really strange things happen.
Wait, I have read about you. So wait, you get your powers from a higher being?
From God, the God tier, the
Phil,
God of
Philip, did you
justice.
know? Oh my God, Philip, did you know? You can never ever say that outside of this. Philip, have you reached these people yet? How are you still alive? My God, anyone that you would say that to, that would be instant execution here. But I have heard of clerics. I also thought this might be just Greyhawk fables or stories, but very encouraging though. That means that the gods are real for
Wait,
the most part. That's
Yeah.
very encouraging.
aren't you like the smartest guy in the city? Or
He said, well, he said, probably. He said, I mean,
no,
I've been told I might be. He
no,
said,
no
I have.
offense. It just seems like we've been blowing your mind since we've got here.
Well, here's the thing. I have read about Greyhawk quite distinctly, and it's nothing like here. So if Faerun's anything like that, I kind of understand. Like for us, for instance, these books are highly illegal. No one can own books. I think maybe the only one that actually owns these in the entire city. So that maybe makes sense. The other thing is that like I said, my life's work is here. I might actually though, if I've never actually had people that were maybe capable enough to help us with this, but I've been working on something. So I have read. We didn't. Philip didn't even know this until I spoke with him about this, and to us it's totally normal. But I have actually read that people are not meant to age so incredibly quickly. And sure enough, with everything else I'm learning about you, I have to believe that's true. I may have a cure for this, and I might maybe have something that interests you as well. But getting back before we get to that point, why did you wish yourself here in this horrible place? How did you even know it existed? Maybe there's a clue there that can help us get back.
Y- us?
Well, I would hope that if I help you, that you will help me and Philip leave. And maybe as many as you can. I mean, I don't think you have any idea how bad it is for all of us here.
We understand your plight. We're here to fix our own. Can't make promises on thin air.
I mean, where we would be going, not a lot better.
Arguably, yes, and it will never sustain this many people. I don't even know if it will be able to sustain 3 more in our group.
Where
Well,
are you going back to?
that's a good question. Yes, where are you going back to?
Room of Horrors. Are you familiar with that too?
They said they were looking for the Sword of Kaz.
You can,
Holy shit!
yeah, you can see that his blood runs cold. He's like, well, he said, well, Philip, maybe it's better that you stay here with me, and maybe it's better that all of you. I mean, I'm willing to help you as much as you can, but it seems like you're going to make the same fate as others. No one's even been foolish enough to actually want the sword of Kaz, and they've died well before that. It is literally, unfortunately, and I hate to tell you this, an impossibility. And he looks down and goes through, and he gets really really depressed as he hears that. After a couple minutes, he says, well, he says he says, well, he says, maybe, he says, look, look, if you are really serious about even attempting to even get in the same room as that sword, maybe, assuming you help poor Philip here and accept him into your group, maybe I will also help in the hopes that this knowledge will actually further things and help maybe the both of us. Even if we can't escape, at the very least, maybe you can cure Philip of his problem. And he looks at everyone, by the way, and he snaps his fingers, and Banquo's visage basically starts to fade. You've never seen this, Philip. Um, it goes from this like 50-ish year old man to a much older 73-year-old man. And it starts to fade all the way through. It's some kind of illusion that he obviously has been able to go through. He is at least 20 to 30 years older. He says, I have actually already cured this problem. And when he talks, by the way, as a 73-year-old man, he actually talks much younger. He actually doesn't have the rasp that you would expect or whatever. And he's actually doing much better physically than you would expect. And what he does is he holds up his pinky, and his pinky is black with what looks like a claw on it as well. And he says, "This is how I cured myself. I never thought I would tell another soul." And he said, "But this finger I found in the dark forest, and it belongs to a god, a literal god."
Dio's
Uh,
backing up. She doesn't
Yep.
like where this is going.
But
like this.
he
What
but
god?
and so if anybody wants to, they can do an Arcana check on this. He's going to tell you. But go ahead and do an Arcana check.
I already know what it is, Chris.
Great, I know what it is.
I hope I'm wrong. Whoops, I'm rolling the wrong chat.
Yeah, Sia doesn't have a clue. She rolled a 3.
I rolled a 17.
Okay. Yeah,
20.
you would guess this probably has something to do with an ancient artifact that you've heard about before. Um, clearly you're a little confused because it doesn't really match up with what you've heard of, but he says it anyway and it slips and he's like, "This is Vecna's, and it has literally cured my aging and given me amazing ability. It's
I
why
don't
I
like to say
survive."
more. I don't like
But
to
he
say
said,
more, guys.
"Listen, I am not evil, and neither are these things. I'll tell you a story of what happened a long time ago. I actually have the book that backs this up. I know why the Burning Peaks exists. I know exactly what's going on." Philip, this is the very first time you've heard this too. And he says, "There are several different pieces of Vecna laying around. It's from what happened right before Vecna tried to ascend to godhood." He said, "If you're willing to listen to me, and if you're willing to hear this out, there are several pieces of Vecna scattered throughout this entire area. Some on this side, some on Vecna's side. They are literally invisible to Vecna. He will never be able to see them. It has something to do with how he was shunted and basically grafted into this domain." He said, "This is the only reason I'm alive." And he says, "Yes, it looks kind of horrific," and he points to his pinky, but he says, "Watch." And he puts his pinky up and he literally becomes invisible. And then he puts it you can see that once he becomes visible again, it's down, and he says, "These hold amazing power. Unbelievable power. This is the only one I've ever found, and it is the only one that was even safe enough for me to even attempt to grab. And even then, it was by pure luck that I was able to do this. I should have been dead 45 years ago." He said this, and then he looks at Philip. "One of these will cure you. This will stop the aging." Um, he says, however, he says, "I don't actually know where any of the other pieces are. If you find one of them that has considerably more power, it is possible that you might be able to use that to get in." He said, the process is a little horrific, unfortunately, and I'm going to be very honest about that. I have read in my books that pieces of skin of Vecna might still be around. His teeth. Um, I've heard stories of an eye and a hand, but to be honest, he said, I, I, they're amazingly powerful, and I've actually been told that they're still in Greyhawk, according to the book that I read. However, it is possible that they're here as well, but there are several pieces. His scalp. This is when Kaz carved him alive, and he said, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, a long time ago in Greyback, in Tovag, Vecna created this ritual which literally took him 7 days. 7 days and 800 slaves killed to send to become his own god. There were other terrible things that have been lost in the pages of the book. They were actually ripped out. I wasn't able to read through them, but through some very horrific ritual, Vecna tried to ascend to godhood. But right before it, his human mortal general Kaz ended up literally carving him to pieces in the middle of the ritual to take the power for themselves. Well, it didn't go well for him. He was eventually disintegrated and should have died. However, when Vecna succumbed to his wounds, something called the Serpent or something, the translation's iffy, whisked him away into this awful domain, and as a symptom took his general as well, and now they are both here fighting an endless war out of hatred. I know Tovag was never meant to be this. It was always meant to be Greyhawk. Philip, none of us were meant to live like this. We were literally meant to live like free, normal people. And that's why I'm telling you this. Maybe if you can go out and find pieces of Vecna, you will have to make sacrifices for whoever uses them, because unfortunately you do have to. For instance, if you find the foot of Vecna, you have to cut off your foot to use it. But he said, I'm telling you, the power is unbelievable. Maybe, just maybe, with something like that, we could start to think of a plan to get you inside the Fortress of Kaz. That is the only place that the Sword of Kaz lies. And unfortunately, it's also within one of the most protected areas within that fortress. Occasionally, we might get lucky if we do see a procession. And Philip, you've seen one, and the whole like time that you've been here, Kaz has actually done a parade, and it wasn't very long. He says occasionally he'll have the sword out. It's actually on display as the procession comes through. We could get lucky potentially, but otherwise you're going into the fortress of Kaz to try to receive the sword. And he said, most importantly, though, what were you thinking? How will you get out? How will this even work? Also, Kaz is insanely powerful. He can literally be anywhere he wants within his domain at any time.
Have you? Do we know about the relationship between Acerak and Vecna?
No, not from any. Like, this is all Greyhawk history. You can ask him, though.
Do you know the name Acerak?
I have, my God, I have actually heard that name in the books. How do you know Acerak?
We saw him. I beat him to death with a.
Wait, no. Acerak is from Greyhawk. This is wonderful. You saw him?
Visit.
Vecna is from Greyhawk. Vecna, Acerak, and he says also, by the way, pronounced
This is
Acerak.
not great. This is not great.
No, he said it is.
No,
this
it's
makes
not.
sense. Vecna was Acerak's teacher. Acerak was Vecna's greatest pupil.
Makes sense. Crazy
Okay.
rubbed off too.
Well, we're trying to get the Sword of Kaz to kill Acerak.
That makes that of course that makes sense. See, Vecna would have had a backup plan, especially for someone as powerful as Acerak, in case he were to betray him. Of course he would have imbued Kaz's sword to kill him permanently. You were in Greyhawk. Oh, this is wonderful news.
I believe the Tomb of Horrors has portions of Greyhawk muddled throughout it, but that's the reason we're here. Iraq is threatening to destroy everything we know in the world.
The Tomb of Horrors does not sound like a nice place to go back to. I do agree with you.
Dude, you're just telling us stuff we already know.
He says, so he says, let me get this straight though. So you don't have a way to get back?
Not yet, but we kind of just pull something out of our butts.
Theo
How
will
did
open the book
Acerak-
and try and go back to the notes that she
Yep.
at one point took about all of this.
Yeah, unfortunately, it tells you just to grab the sword. It does not actually tell you how to get back. You're not sure if grabbing the sword will bring you back or not. But the good news is that the notes are supposed to be complete. He's supposed to have given you a complete like guide to go through it. So,
Well,
yeah.
we go get the sword. Step 2 question mark. Step 3 profit.
He said, well, he said, these artifacts of Vecna are lying around on both sides. Also, maybe Caviditas? Maybe you're powerful enough to get there. Now, do you know anything about the area?
None.
Okay. He said, so
That's
you've
what-
seen
that's all I have
our
from-
side. You've seen our side. There is a worse side. So outside the Burning Peaks, follow the road, go up, go east. Once you eventually get past these mountains that are on fire, you will see a giant desert wasteland. Do not touch the sand. If you step foot on the sand, after only seconds to minutes, you will end up rapidly aging, wasting away, and dying. And then Vecna will own you forever. You will literally be a zombie forever. under Vecna's command. So you have to use the roads. As a matter of fact, he said, I will actually be helpful here. And he goes back into one of the cabinets and he says, I knew it. And he takes it out and he has this green gem. He's like, I'm willing to help you. Please, though, please, I beg of you, if you do find a way back, do your best to, if you can't even help me, just help the people here. And he gives you the gem. It's green. He says, all you have to do is hold this out into the sunlight. It is very bright on this side, and it will make sure that the right path to Kvididus essentially shows itself, so that you're not walking on false paths that are actually desert that will kill you outright. And he says, I am willing to give this to you to help. He said, just promise me before I do that you will try your best to help as many people as you can leave this place.
Well, we got 2 right here. And I point to our 2 tag-alongs.
Yep.
Yes. Umbra's real quiet now since you told him
Yeah.
that you don't know how to get back home.
Yeah.
It was nothing if she's not truthful.
Well, honestly, if even if you just take Philip and Umbra, I suppose that's something. Listen, and he looks at both of you. He says, if you make it out, tell others what happened to us at the very least.
Let me pay you for your help, good sir. And I
Yep.
will dig into my pocket something that I've been hiding from the rest of the group, and my last quarter of sweet roll I will give to him.
It's like 2 months old.
No,
Yeah.
it's like a week and a half old, but
Yeah.
it still got like cinnamon and frosting
Oh,
on it.
to be honest, he's never even tasted sugar, so that's fine. He hasn't actually had fruit. So he looks at it. He's like, food?
Yeah, you should try it. It's from where we're from. You might not have ever tasted anything like this, and we have this stuff everywhere. It's like the top. We have a food pyramid, and it's at the bottom, so you eat this every day. Well,
Yeah.
at least I do.
For meta perspective, I love how Rasmus is actually just secretly torturing the man. But yeah, that's great. He looks at it and he says, "Well, I was giving this to you anyway. I appreciate this, thank you, but I was giving this to you anyway." He said, "Guard it with your life. Do not let anyone see anything like this, obviously." And he'll hand it over to you, Rasmus, and he'll take the sweet roll. And he says,
Nibble it.
"So." He says, "Okay," and he does. He looks at it. He's like, he's like, I trust you," and he does like take a bite of it, and his eyes do light up. He's actually surprised. It's a little stale, but he goes through and eats it. He says, "This is amazing." He actually gives a small piece to Philip and a small piece to Umbra, and he says, "Try it."
It's a cinnamon glazed roll. I bought it from a fair that I went to.
Can you
Philip
make
like
more of these?
moans in pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, stop that. That's not the proper reaction.
But it's so good.
If you do that again, I'm not taking you with us.
He says, listen, Philip is afflicted. I know that Umbra.
That's a look for it.
I'm going to let this secret out because I think it's most important that everyone knows. But Umbra is special. I've known for a while Umbra.
Umbra? Or
And
Philip? Which one?
Umbra.
Me.
Umbra.
Okay.
I'm not special, he says, licking his
Yeah, and
fingers.
he looks at Philip and he says, "This is why this is so important. This is not fair. It is not fair for someone to die so soon." He said, "But Umbra," he said, "whatever you've done, maybe if you could help Philip."
I mean, it was nothing I did. It was something I was born with.
He said, "Yes." He said, "Well, anyway, Philip, if these artifacts would help you most, but of course anyone can use any of these to go through it. You do have to kind of replace things, like even if it's skin. Unfortunately, you have to cut little pieces of skin off you and graft them into you. But I promise you, the power is worth it." And he says, "That's unfortunately though all I can kind of offer for now. But I'm going to do this. As soon as you leave, I am going to start scouring all of my books to see if there's something I missed, or better yet, read some of the ones that I haven't gotten to yet and see if I can help."
And that finger you have, is that permanently on you?
He says, yes, unfortunately, I would have to cut it off myself, but I can't. If I cut it off, I will die immediately.
Hmm.
I'm too old here.
I also, since we last talked, I found a small something out in the woods. But you can't tell anyone.
He said, no, of course. What is it?
I reach into my backpack and I pull out a book everyone would recognize as one of the leveling books. I slide it towards them.
He says, Philip. He says, Philip, show him.
I pull out my book.
This is utterly amazing. She said, do you understand why? And he shows everyone, by the way. So he goes to take Philip's book from him, and it immediately heats up. And he puts it back to him. He says, see, it's like it's chosen, Philip, and yours. And he goes to grab it, and the same exact thing happens, and it goes right back.
Yes.
See that.
He said,
They're
what did they?
wanted-
What did they? He said, Philip. He said, I do they do anything besides have that strange map? And he says, wait, open your book, What was it called again?
Faerun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's a
he's
thing
like,
from-
this is
yeah.
this is unbelievable. No wonder this is where you're from. And he shows everyone here. He's like, this is it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We all have those, to be quite honest. That's why we were chosen to Sirac.
Twinsies.
He said, what? This is like a story. He said, this is amazing. He said, maybe the books can get us back or something. But yeah, so this is great. This is wonderful. So maybe this was fate. And what he does is he draws a hastily drawn out map. And so he gives you kind of like a rundown of where he believes certain pieces may be, but he warns you that he has honestly no idea if this is actually accurate or not, because what he's been reading through are journals of people that saw the fight right before, and then there's like historical accounts from Tovag before basically the city was like basically grafted, of people that supposedly were in Greyhawk that wrote books about what happened after, which is pretty horrific. And he actually explains this too. He's like, most of the population coming over here died, but he explains to you that there's a journal where there's a man who thinks that he actually remembered where certain pieces fell, and that's what he's going to show you. Up here, north of the Fortress of Kaz, supposedly one of these pieces of Vecna exists. The other one that he kind of knows about is all the way over here in this forest area right next to Torgarok, deep in the forest somewhere. The other pieces are all scattered out into the deserts on the Vecna side, and he warns that unless they're unfortunately on like the path or something, he doesn't see how you could possibly get to them. But so he says, if you go and at least find those, or look for another way, he says, I will do my best, I will do my part, and I will absolutely scour my books to see if I found anything else.
Once we have a piece of Vecna, isn't Cass going to be really mad at us?
See, that's the thing, he can't see them. That's exactly it. Vecna and Cass cannot see these pieces. It has something to do with what happened when they were fighting. Otherwise, Cass would already have them.
What if
They have to be
wha-
invisible.
What if Cass got a hold of these pieces of Vecna? Would that be bad?
That would be horrifically bad. Right now, here's another thing that I should mention. Kaz can actually not go past the Burning Peaks, and Vecna cannot go past the Burning Peaks. They cannot leave their domains. These were actually two different domains that merged into one. Supposedly, these areas of Greyhawk that were turned into this awful, awful place were not always the same. And at some point, long time ago, right after this happened, they were basically colliding and merged. But that's the secret. Kaz actually is fighting a war he could never win because he can't get past the Burning Peaks, and neither can Vecna. So my only guess is that both of them are trying to scheme away. Potentially, Kaz
So
finding pieces of Vecna would certainly allow him to get into Vecna's domain. So that
what
would be a very bad thing.
what if, and I'm not saying this is a good idea, just an idea, we picked a side in this, and then they could probably bitch slap Asarak out of his little tomb and send us home, and in exchange we give like the piece to one of them.
You said,
That's
I mean,
terrible.
it is a possibility, to be honest. It's certainly a possibility, but Kaz is kind of a horrible man. Do you understand what Kaz has done to us?
So Vecna's better than Kaz?
He
They're
said,
both-
well,
Neither
he says
of
this. I
them
really don't know
have
Vecna.
any
Here's the thing.
shred of good in them.
Yeah,
And
he says
people who are that power hungry do not share power and do not have friends. They have tools.
Philip is right, because honestly, everything we've read about Vecna is that he's not even alive. And worse, his city, Citadel Cavitus, is actually probably better than here in some ways, but it's run by undead people who can literally do whatever they want, and they subjugate the living. Living people, Philip, I didn't tell you because I didn't want you going over the other side, because I knew you might, because they have mages and all kinds of other people over there. So it is possible. I would say this: if that is another option, if you are brave enough to basically pass the Burning Peaks and get into Cavitus, there are other humans there. Matter of fact, its majority is human. But Vecna rules there, and so do other undead, and they will do whatever they want to the people there. That's all I know for sure. I also know that Vecna supposedly was very, very evil before he came here. But again, that is an option. I mean, honestly, getting the sword of Kaz yourself, it seems unfathomable to me. So
Are
that
you
could
invisible
very
to
well
Kaz?
work.
This
Yep.
doesn't sound any tougher or easier than the running contingent of impossible tasks that we've so far faced.
The only thing I will say is
Yep.
this: at least Kaz like keeps us alive. I don't know what Vecna would do, but the good news is that he does actually have living people in his city. So maybe we would be better under Vecna. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Pirvin, what about your lady? What would she do here?
My lady.
Yes, you said you were a lady.
Is patron.
She's not here.
Could she come here?
Don't wish that on it.
Mm, and I tap my head, and then I tap my heart. She's here.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I think we're done here.
He said, well, he said, as soon as you learn something, go back, and he said maybe at the very least, you know, if you do venture out into the forest, and please make sure Philip doesn't die and Umbra doesn't die. But Umbra, I think you're capable, though. I know that you've lived out on your own for a while, so yeah,
Yes.
just please do me a favor though, and just let me know whatever happens.
I have one
We'll
more
try.
question before we go.
Yep.
I can do that.
You are fused
For
with
bragging
this
about
potion.
how many impossible things you've accomplished, you are remarkably non-committal.
No, yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Well, I mean, it's not like there's a mail system here or something. To have to come back in here just to tell him what happened might be too dangerous.
Well, unless Umbra has another solution, I do have a hint of an idea.
You said
I
that
like
your body
hints.
was fused with this portion of Vecna.
Yes.
Are you yourself invisible to Kaz?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I might be. I don't know that for
If
sure, though. I've never, ever, ever tested that theory out. It is a possibility,
well,
which is why these might be so important if you decide you wanted to steal the Sword of Cause. If you're asking for my help, I am certainly willing to help you. But if we're wrong, that will be certain death for me and maybe for you as well. But it is something that's interesting. Like, if I was, could I get the sword? I guess I could. The problem is I'm not sure that I would be invisible to his guards, though.
yes. Well, if that's the case, I volunteer myself to be melded with one of these pieces. I certainly would die trying rather than, you know, live happily within this city.
It's gonna cure me. I think I get first dibs.
Oh, I mean, by all means, you're welcome to it.
He says, "Well, no fighting. There are two actually, but he said, however, though, um, just be careful as well." He said, "To be honest, I can actually tell you this truthfully. Um, this piece, even though Vecna is evil, I've never felt any kind of like I don't know influence, or I don't feel like I'm an evil person. So I think they're safe in that respect. But just
Do I
obviously use
believe him?
caution. They are very powerful, and
Does he
this is
seem like
only a
he's telling the
pinky."
truth?
Yeah, if you incite him, he would actually. I'm not even gonna oppose it. He is actually telling the truth. He does explain though that this is just the pinky. He said this is the only one I've found. Who knows what kind of power would exist in larger pieces of Vecna?
Well, I'm convinced. I don't know about the rest of you, but I think that's a good starting point.
It's all we got.
Yeah. He says, or if you want, you could use the crystal and of course scout out Caviditas. It's completely up to you. I will say this though. There's a new procession going on now, so the war is kind of raging out there. By this point, most of the soldiers are probably dead, but I would at least wait a day or two just to be sure, and then take one of the main roads and try to traverse to Cavitus. It is going to end up taking you, no matter what. All the journals say that it's at least 2 days travel, even though it really shouldn't be. It should only take you maybe 8 hours, but it's going to take 2 days no matter what.
Why?
I wouldn't know. I'm not sure actually. I think things are different over on Vecna's side of things. And make sure you bring lots of food and water because it is a glaring, burning sun. It's nothing like this side. It's actually very, very hot. And the sun basically wastes life away. So just bring lots of food and drink and everything, and at least enough for 2 days.
Is there any way you could mark the locations on a map?
Yes, and he right now we will mark these, but right now
Okay.
it's up in this location here, which you guys would know, and then it's over here deep in the forest on this side. So this one's the first one that you have that's closest to Torgarok is obviously much closer, but it's in deeper wood. This one is harder to get to because it's actually near the Fortress of Kaz, but the trees are sparser. This one's much more dense, but closer.
Okay, well, I think that's a great jumping off point for the future.
You said great. And so what he does is he ushers everyone, but he seals everything out. He ushers everyone back. He says large groups sometimes can be dangerous. He said you do whatever you want, but just remember that coming into the city, sometimes it's better to split up. Although maybe occasionally a large group is fine, but folks and Philip, I don't know if you told them this already, so I apologize if you do, but folks don't tend to really like congregate much here or go out. As a matter of fact, everyone kind of stays in their house. Friendships, everything. Our entire lives are spent inside our homes because God forbid you take the ire of the daggers. You'll just be murdered. And honestly, they're not. You know, they've lived here. I wish we could just like basically blame them and kill them all, but the reality is that they are just other people here trying to do their best, living in a terrible situation as well. So it's all bad here, unfortunately.
Do you think we could stay the night here?
I said, of course, I have plenty of room here. Yes, absolutely. I don't have any beds, but if you don't mind sleeping on the floor, absolutely.
I have my ways.
Yep.
Oh, and you asked before what the books did. I figured out at least what mine did.
What does it do?
It's a personal study. It's like a wizard's tower inside. It's got books and spells and parchments and
He said,
inkwells and
he said,
quills.
amazing. He said, can you show me?
Unfortunately, I can't. It only allows me access in certain nights.
Philip,
If I
your
could, I
your
would.
book?
Yes. Yeah, it does the same thing. But mine's like not spells and stuff. It's like
Well, he says, "Oh, thanks for mentioning this, both of you. But this is absolutely amazing magic. Like I can't believe that." He said he looks at the group. He says, "I actually gave Philip his book because obviously it shows him, but this is utterly amazing."
Where did you get the books for Philip?
He said, "You will never believe it." He said, "One night, maybe 20 years ago, I was out past the river, Tamros, next to the mist, and out from the sky, it literally fell like a star, landed right in front of me. I thought that maybe it was one of the gods or something giving me a chance of getting out. As soon as I opened it, though, it seemingly was just blank. It did not actually have the map, and quite frankly, as soon as I showed it to Philip, this thing started happening where I can't even take it back."
Philip is to blame.
How did you find yours?
I found mine on a dead soldier.
He said, I don't understand any of this.
I traded mine for
And-
a toy.
And yeah, that's what he said. He said, and someone just handed over these things to you?
Mm-hmm.
There's like books are like not a rare thing where we're from. Like we throw them in the garbage.
These books are rare though.
Well, I didn't know it at the time.
He said, none of this makes sense, but he said it's fine. He said, if by the way, it is getting late. If you want to go through and sleep, like I said, I will absolutely. Everything should be fine. He said, worst case though, if I do lock all of the doors at night. If you hear anyone trying to enter, just come down to this room here. I'll put us all underneath, and we should, not
Why
have
don't we
to
just
worry
stay
about
down here?
daggers coming in. He said we could. If you want, I will still listen to the library, and we can sleep here tonight. I'm fine with that.
This is like 3 times nicer than the last 10 places we've slept.
He said, all right. He said, yeah. Well, he said, why not? He said, especially if you drew attention, that might be the smartest thing. So he said, yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. All right. Okay. All right. So if you guys do that, what we will actually call it here from a meta term though. What he does is actually wait a second. Is it well no, we've got a half hour. I'm sorry guys. Oh, no, we're good.
Yeah, 7
good.
to 10 is Sundays. You have till
Sorry,
10:30 on Mondays.
I know I get confused. No, so he'll go through.
10:30, yeah.
Yeah. No, we've got plenty of time. So he'll go through and he'll do his incantation and everything will go through. And if that happens, what'll end up happening is he basically shows you guys around the library. It's a good size. It's like 8,000 square feet of not only books and shelves, but unfortunately it is a dirt floor. But there's plenty of room to like lay down and stretch or whatever. And sure enough, if you actually peruse through some of the books as well, every single book here is just remnants of Greyhawk. All of them are books about Greyhawk or going through Greyhawk or whatever. So, and he kind of shows you like how he's laid things out or whatever. Um, and uh, and and you are able to sleep here throughout the night and not have anything happen. Does anybody want to do anything for downtime before you sleep?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Oh, I pray. It's probably a bad
No,
idea,
don't
but I
do that.
pray.
Stop that.
CEO, you
Not
can
here.
go first.
We can just go down the line because I kind of have a small list of things.
Okay. Then Pan is going to actually ask Orasis to lay the defender down on the ground.
It's back in my house.
It's in
Damn
the
it.
house.
Okay.
I threw it under the floorboard.
Do
I
you
have
still
Bimmy
have
in my
the
pocket.
do you have the bow that Kino gave you?
Yes.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
I want to see if I can do a new trick that I just learned.
Vague enough to appease my interests.
I like how this bird was like just a by chance, like, oh, it would be a nice thing to have, and somehow it has jumped campaigns. This bird has traveled more than I ever expected.
I will give I'll give you the bird.
I will lay it down on the ground and I will animate it into a dancing item.
which you'll be able to do.
I actually just wanted to see if I could. I just wanted to
Yep.
see the bird dance.
Yep.
It's also
Yeah, so
something
you
I
guys
get
will
once. I get once per long rest, and I just wanted to use it.
No, you guys do see that, and it actually does go through. What does it actually say in the flavor text? Does it actually dance like a mechanical bird, or does it change it magically? Like, what does it do?
I mean, the anime item uses the dancing item stat block, friendly to you and your companions. It doesn't actually really give much flavor text to how it moves.
That's fine. Yeah, so you're able to cast this, and it actually does like move around like animated excitingly and go through it. It does act like a mechanical bird, but it goes through and is clearly lively and like alive and all of that. So
I can make a spell refueling ring and a, a radiant weapon
Ooh.
now. Oh,
Now?
and well, I mean, like I can make it whenever now, and I can make a shield that kind of like makes you explode if you hit it.
Makes me explode if I hit it?
Not you specifically, like the royal you.
The royal we?
Excuse me.
What are you, French?
Oh, what? I surrender.
He is French.
I mean, I was around royalty for quite a while, and they never used anything called the royal you.
Okay, this has been enlightening. Um. Okay, goodbye, Pan. Just and he
Oh,
doesn't move.
I
He
have
just
to
waves
leave?
at you.
I
He
have to
doesn't
leave?
move.
I just have to leave?
You're confusing me with your simple.
With my simple?
Yeah, that. Okay. I'm gonna go over here now, and he just walks to this other room.
Okay, Pen will just be kind of working out the mechanics of the dancing item for a bit. I have it for an hour, so that's where I'll be for the next hour.
cool.
See ya.
Well, Philip wasn't going to do much, but now he's just going to play with the dancing bird.
Well, okay.
Yeah, so Pan and Philip are just like laughing and clapping with the bird.
Oh,
Gotta find happiness where you can.
All right,
Oh.
cool. Well, go ahead.
No, it's Gretna's turn.
Oh, I just start kneeling down and start praying.
Yep.
And thanking Tyr for seeing us through another day.
Yep.
That's it.
All right, and Umbra is probably going to find a table, and he's going to sort of arrange himself under it, or under some sort of piece of furniture he can fit himself under. Try to take off his cloak and kind of arrange it like a sheet, and he's going to turn to Co and look at her and say, well, so I guess the cat's out of the bag now, and like Banquo said, I don't age normally because I have demon blood. Just a little bit, but enough where the curse on everyone doesn't affect me.
It's two of us. I come from.
Well, you said you were from the Hells. I'm from, well, not me. I'm from here. My parents were from Greyhawk, but apparently somewhere in the lineage, one of them was from the Abyss or somewhere around it. So yes.
Weird.
I didn't get much information out of them. When I was real young, they were killed by the daggers. That's when I fled the city.
Hard to hear that. Oh man. Oh, sorry. My connection said it was out.
Yep, we can hear you though. Yep.
Cool. No, it doesn't undo the pain of losing family. I lost my parents very young too. Someone set our house on fire because they thought we were demon spawn. Lost everything.
Yes.
before you guys go to bed, by the way, and he doesn't really say much. He just he puts it out to you, Philip. You've never seen this either. He does give you a sketch of the entire city, which will help you out, and he labels all the things that you can actually see within this thing so that you have it.
Fantastic.
But yeah, so now it's his house, and then this whatever this is, Dagger's
What
Keep,
is
the
that?
barracks, entrance to the Library of Kaz, more barracks, the Temple of Penitence, and the Madhouse. You would know the Temple of Penitence is the only church, and you kind of know
Yeah.
how that works. But yeah,
What is La Rosa Baru?
yeah. So if you ask him, he'll say, "Well, he said she's actually relatively important in town. She tends to know a lot of things, kind of like I do, and I have used her before, but just be careful with her. She's a little self-serving, and rumor is she kind of has a deal with the daggers to know as much as she does, but she's a very good resource to know the inner workings of things going on in the city. Things that, for instance, Kaz would never want anyone to know, and certain things that she's also hiding maybe from Kaz. So that's why I marked it there for you.
Hmm.
He said,
She
however,
is.
inside Castle Zyphos, I personally know I've never been there, but there is a library of Kaz as well that maybe could be of use. I'm not sure.
And she's. Well, how would you describe her occupation?
To be honest, so the front that she uses is that she's basically a stewardess inside Castle Zyphos. So she's a servant, kind of like a maid, except for the fact that she has an unreasonably amount of free time that I've never really been able to understood. So she must have some kind of thing worked out because I don't think she goes to work very often, to be honest. And she seems to know a lot of things. She's the only other person in the city that I've kind of brokered with for information. So,
Thank you.
Yep.
Hopefully, this will help us.
Yep. He said, by the way, Philip, I don't want to get this to get you killed, and I don't want. I think you should be careful with this information. But there's actually a rumor. There's a cult of Vecna within the city. I don't know if that's true or not, but the daggers certainly believe it's true. And so, if you could maybe find that, that could also be a way to maybe broker a deal with the other city. If you could find this cult, if it's real. So,
Interesting.
all right, Sia, what did you want to do?
I wanted to do 3 things.
Yep.
I definitely want to ask. His name is Banquo, right?
Banquo. Yep.
I want to ask Banquo if he has like a general book on Greyhawk, like not a collection of them. She just wants to look over one book in particular, like if it has a composite history of the
Yep.
highlights of Greyhawk.
Yep.
Um,
So there is definitely, so he shows you many volumes that have histories of Greyhawk. Unfortunately, these are not things that you could necessarily read in a night if you just read it. But there's definitely, he does have that. Yeah.
okay. Well, if he doesn't have one solid book, she'll take some time later before she goes to bed to kind of glance through one that seems relevant.
Yep.
Before she does that, she wants to pull Banquo to the side since it's a larger room and she
Yep.
wants to talk to him in private.
Yeah, she can. Yep.
I don't mean to take you away from whatever you plan to do with your evening, sir, but I might have a way to be able to inform you of goings on while we're out and about, so we don't have to take the time to leave various searches to return information.
He says, "No, I'm listening. How would we do that, though?"
So, my own studies of the arcane, and again, I don't know how to fully relay them because of my own lack of knowledge of magic, but my particular book down up to 3 people's names. Doing so, I can write a message to a person. You'll hear it as if I'm speaking it to you. You can then respond, and it will write itself in my book. So we're able to communicate privately. And I can do it over great distances. I'm not sure if to eventually leave this domain, if it would still work, but while we're here, I would be able to tell you what we find.
He said, "Fair enough." He said, "Yes, write my name in the book."
Before I do that, I'd like to ask a favor of my own.
He said, "Sure."
Part of my study of the arcane involves learning. Not quite a wizard, but I do learn magic by experience. The way that I collect that information so I can further my own understanding of my powers is by using a special device that I've collected in my studies that will collect information for me. And just as Umbra said, when my book reveals itself to me and it allows me to step inside and study, I unload that information and I'm able to understand more about it, understand more about the arcane. You said that your particular relic of Vecna granted you certain abilities like invisibility. I think that
Yes.
might help me develop my research. So the short question rather is, do you allow me to use my tool to inspect your...
Sure. He said, "Sure, absolutely." Yep.
Seal will just give him a very kind smile. I greatly appreciate this. You don't understand how much this helps me understand my abilities. She will very quietly take her rod
Yep.
out from her sleeve and she'll just hold in her hand and connect it with his pinky that is Vecna's.
Sure. Okay, perfect. Yep, yeah, you go through and the rod does light up, and immediately the rod like lights up. It goes through. It actually has a very very weird pulse you've never seen before, and light encompasses the entire finger, and immediately the finger disappears. In Banko's horror, as he realizes this has been basically taken, he actually does like very 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 instantly disintegrate right in front of you. He's too old to be here without the finger, and it kills him outright. Now, what also happens
What?
is
Go!
immediately, yeah, I didn't expect this. Immediately when that also happens, though, you try to get shunted out of reality like you've always had. Something goes wrong. Go ahead and give me a just do a normal wisdom saving throw.
Holy shit!
I'm gonna kill you.
Kaylee.
Holy shit!
Kaylee, what the fuck?
Kaylee.
No
I'm
one,
gonna
no one.
my
By the
God.
way, FYI, no one actually saw any of this. You would only see a huge flash of light. You wouldn't see like he literally disintegrated in a pile of dust. So that's all you'll see when you come back. However, because she did say that she took him away outside of everything, but that's all right. So anyway, just give me the wisdom
It's
saving
alright.
throw. Let's make sure that it really is all right, because there's another thing going on here. Just do the wisdom saving throw for me, Co. Let's
Oh,
hope
Sitting
you
there
no.
praying, you know.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Fucking Philip and
Holy shit, Kaylee! This
fucking
is
Philip
wild.
and
no,
Pan
Ka-
still
she-
like
she
clapping
had-
with the birds.
In all fairness, Theo had no idea this would happen. I honestly didn't know this would happen either. But go ahead,
know what
Theo,
would
and do your
happen,
wisdom
but
saving
I
throw.
just told you.
11. It's an 11.
It's fair.
Okay, all right. So, hold on one second.
Oh, please. I don't want to die.
You definitely failed. So hold on. You might. I
Oh.
hate to tell you, this is not great. But hold on. Let's see what happens.
And you went by
Um,
yourself. We can't even do anything.
By the third session, it's just
Alright,
gonna
so
be
you
a bunch
take-
of people
so-
from Torgorak.
It's, as I rolled pretty shitty. You take 28 points of damage. How much HP do you have?
I have like 58.
Okay, this is enough though that you are going to be bleeding. You actually have like it is visible that you took a decent amount of damage. This is what ends up happening though. So you go to get taken, and immediately it doesn't work for whatever reason, and you get shunted back into reality. But the way that you get shunted back is that you literally, all of your cells, everything about you is just off by a millimeter, and inside you have this terrible internal bleeding that just is insane pain, especially because you have been changed the way that you were, and now your body's trying to connect. This could have outright killed you for sure. It just, for whatever reason, through luck, it did not. And then as that happens,
Oh,
now you're bleeding.
man.
You're bleeding out of your eyes. You're whatever. There is dust there. All everyone saw though was a huge flash of light. Apparently, though, and you will know this instinctively now that it's happened, for whatever reason, she wanted and needed that and took it. And unfortunately, you didn't know that beforehand, but she's letting you know now. And she does give you an instinctive thing. She tried to recall you back to help. She can't. You're stuck. So she tried her best, but you're unfortunately right now you're stuck. She did not mean to hurt you,
Is
and that's
Theo
all that you would
evil?
know. That's all you would know. That's all you would know for sure. And then that's all private. No one else heard any of this. It's all telepathic. But then
No.
CO, as this happens though, yes, unfortunately now there's dust where he was. So
No, Theo's screaming outright. Like as soon as he disintegrates, she screams, and when she's shunted back, she's like bleeding from her eyes, her ears, and her mouth. She's just screaming.
So
Harass is
Philip,
stirring up.
So
stirring
Miles,
up.
welcome to the campaign. That's what I mean.
I know,
I
right?
literally do not cheat
Fucking hell.
anything, and anything that happens the way it's happening will always happen, even if
Exactly.
it messes things up greatly.
Totally
But
breaks
that's
it.
great, CEO. I actually
Holy
love it.
shit.
But anyway,
You-
yeah.
So
She's
Philip
trying-
like
he runs-
dashes.
Yeah, he runs
over.
up
Yeah.
She's
Philip
fighting a
level
rock.
cure
dashes
wounds.
over.
Second level cure wounds.
So CO,
Pick up
just
the
so you
finger.
know, your patron now has the Finger of Vecna and the Big Book of Vecna.
Anyway, meta terms, yes, that's right.
Holy
But anyway,
shit.
that might be correct. But anyways, let's
Oh my
so
god.
so we'll pick up right to where CO is. Yeah, she's bleeding. Huge flash of light. Bank was gone.
Yeah,
Uh,
she's literally just screaming. She's shoving the rod up her sleeve and securing it again. So she'll like have her arms around her midsection, but she's literally just screaming in pain because she doesn't
So
scared.
Phil,
doesn't
yeah.
know
You
what.
heal. You heal for 17.
I need a long rest.
Okay.
Yep.
Lesser resto.
Yep.
I pop
Yeah.
a lesser resto on her.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
I'm sorry. I'll
Yep.
count.
Wow,
it.
Abel,
Oh, shit,
your
no.
timing was perfectly bad. You just missed the excitement.
I threw your steel defender in a basement.
Oh.
Oh, you did what? What happened to Ada Mark 7?
I chunked into the basement like last year's Christmas ornaments.
Miles,
You know, you're not
Lee,
gonna get enough one of those.
I don't know if
What was
she's.
that?
I don't know. I don't know if she's got a condition or what it is. So I just like just in case.
It's fair. She doesn't really know. She's kind of just rock right now.
do I see you starting to do the somatic components of this, or am I asleep yet?
I
Oh,
need a way
no.
to download this. I need a way to download this now.
Just save it.
Mode what?
I need the GIF. I need the whole GIF.
So
I'm
concerned.
gonna gently pick up the dust and put it in a bag.
Okay.
Decent idea.
Why are you collecting his ashes?
Proper burial.
Well, to be honest,
Pocket
to be
sand.
fair, Macmorn, if you're doing that, I need to know why, because the reality is, I don't necessarily know that you would. Did CO? I mean, did you tell him he's ashes? Because otherwise, all you see
she-
is ashes on the ground, and he's gone.
Well,
Yeah.
he told us he would turn into ash.
Well, he did say that he would die if he didn't have the finger. Yes, he did, but didn't necessarily say ash. So, I mean, that's, you just have to. We'll have to go through this because literally, this is what happened. Huge flash of light. CO screaming, bleeding. Banquo nowhere to be found.
I thought he said he'd turn to dust if he lost his finger.
You suck. You're the worst.
I don't think so. I could be
'Cause he
wrong.
was- 'cause
We
he
do
was
have a
so
tape of this.
old.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible. We do have a tape of this, so I mean, I can always go back and think. I don't think he actually said dust, though.
Don't worry, I'll
Yeah.
go. I'm going now.
I'll
But,
just ask- I'll ask
I
Theo
could be wrong, but yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
if it's him.
I am so proud of you, Theo. Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to put two and two together, you could ask. Yes, you could ask. Sure.
I'm sorry. I'm just catching up on the gifts. I didn't know the chat was popping off.
I ask you if a pile of dust is him, so I could proper bury him.
Yeah, Theo, as like she gradually stops screaming and bleeding, she's just gonna be kind of like on the ground, folded into herself because A, she was hurt. B, she has no idea what just happened. Like she rationally knows what she did caused him to disappear. She knows she was trying to get summoned by her patron, doesn't know what happened. So she's just confused. So she's kind of just like between like groaning from pain. She's
All his
just
items turn the dust to?
It looks like everything is dust. Yes.
How the hell are we getting out of here now?
Theo's just gonna like
You
between
did this?
Oh shit. You just killed the quest giver.
no,
Theo.
I don't know what happened.
I think I think
you.
Umbra's still asleep. I don't think anyone actually woke me up.
Oh, the screaming I thought would wake everyone up.
Screaming.
Yeah, I think the screaming might have woken you up. Yeah.
Okay.
Philip, I am sorry for your friend. She's normally not like this.
What? What happened?
Where's
Go back to sleep,
Banquo?
Umbra.
Where's what?
There's a flash of light and Banquo's gone. What happened to Banquo?
She's normally not like this. She's normally pretty good.
I don't know what happened to him.
Sometimes she has a bad touch.
Where was the flash? Wait, where was the flash?
What do you mean by bad touch? It was by her, he points to Theo.
I just tried to put his name in my book. My book lets me talk to people at distances. It's never done this before. He put his name in and he just in a flash I don't know. She's just gonna like start sobbing because she feels so terrible.
And
She-
Erastus is going to step between Philip and Theo, and his power armor comes up, helmet snaps down, and the electricity starts crackling through the body.
Why are you defending her? I haven't moved to attack her. Do you know that she did something? Did she kill him?
What did she do?
What did
Start
she do?
talking.
Yeah, what did you do?
I'm now like talking to Erastus because she's feigning ignorance. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure that my insight check would show that.
I want to hear words. I'm pulling out a component pouch.
The eyes glow blue.
What's going on?
My little
I
brush
don't know.
moves.
I told you the truth. My book lets me talk to people. He wanted to know what we were doing when we're out in the field. I told him if he put his name in the book, just like everyone else here has done at some point, that he would be able to talk to us. We wouldn't have to we wouldn't have to travel back here to tell him what's happening. It's worked for everyone here. You can ask them. Putting the name in the book lets me talk to them. He put his name in. There was a flash, and I look, and he's just there. And she's just gonna like point.
Yep.
And what happened to him?
This I don't know. There's a flash of light, and then I look, and he's this, and I'm bleeding.
When he wrote the name in your book.
Yes.
Is the
He
name
turned-
there?
He turned to dust.
I'm gonna be checking that. I'm gonna be insight checking that.
I do
Yeah,
just want to
I'll-
say,
I
in
will
the
actually give Theo advantage on this since she's doing such a good job. You can
you're
take
killing it.
advantage on your.
in
yeah.
the recording, he does specifically say, "I will die immediately."
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Nothing about
That-
that.
I thought I didn't say anything about that. So yeah.
Yeah,
that's
no,
right.
he will.
Yeah,
He said,
yeah.
"I will die immediately. I am too old to exist here."
All right, Theo.
Chris.
I got a nat
Yep.
20 plus 1.
I am
Oh.
I am hold if anyone takes an aggressive action to Theo, I'm
Yep.
hold action Thunder Wave at second
Yeah,
level.
that's fine. That's fair. Yeah.
I
So
use
aggressive.
myself on deception.
The loudest spell. The loudest spell you're
Yeah,
preparing.
great,
Right.
great,
yeah.
great thinking there.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
for-
mean, that's the other thing as well. It's okay. Let's keep going. Like I said, whatever happens, guys. So
He's
yep.
super protective.
Yep.
So,
Also, just
having
just
the
so
whole
I
town come down upon us isn't super protective.
also
Yeah.
What's
just
going
so
on with this? What's going on with this check?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give myself guidance, and I know I rolled deception with advantage.
Yep.
also where did this actually take place? Umbra would know this. Tyler
Chris,
doesn't.
can I belay that? I cast enlarge on myself.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but just keep in mind, it's the way that enlarge will work in this is that you're not going to be able to grow the entire thing because you're going to hit the thing. But that's how the spell works anyway. You'll be able to grow as large as you can. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am
That's
growing
fine.
as large as I can, and
Yep.
I'm blocking their way in
Okay.
case anyone makes any action against
That's
Theo.
fine. Normally, I don't actually allow retcon when you hold an action, but in this case, it's fine. I know it's like lots going on, so that's fine. But go ahead. What did you roll, Sio?
17 total.
Yeah. So you know she's holding back something. Um. Yeah. I'll let you go.
Philip's gonna look at Umbra to see if that knowledge is gonna be communicated to him.
I'm just gonna hold up an arm in front so Philip doesn't move forward. Tell us exactly what happened, and this time tell us the
Philip.
whole truth.
Just to be clear, Philip, you guys are assuming aggression on Philip's part. Philip has not drawn a sword.
Philip, you
or
need to
has not-
calm down. You need to calm down, Philip.
Philip, whoa!
No.
Philip is standing perfectly still.
And Miles, you just don't understand the relationship between Norasis and Theo is historically been one of super protectiveness.
That's so okay. I'm just being clear about what's going on with Philip.
Yep.
No, he just she's vulnerable, and normally it's him who's vulnerable and her protecting him, and now he's doing the opposite.
I'm holding Philip back. You can't stop me. I'm holding him back.
And there's a 10-foot now there's a 10-foot tall iron turtle in front of you.
Yeah. All right. Yep.
Wait, no.
It's all right, Philip. We
You're
can
not-
talk this out.
Well, Philip has actually said. I mean, no matter what's happening, what's actually happening in the scene is that Philip is not making any aggressive action at all. He's literally just there, and then it looks like Umbra is being like overly kind of dramatic in this, and like going through and like putting him out because Philip hasn't made any kind of aggressive
Philip's
action. Like you
very
said.
confused.
So yeah, exactly. He would just be confused, and then yeah. So Erastus, you're smart enough to know that that wasn't actually aggressive action. It's just Umbra being dramatic. So.
Would he be an enlarged turtle while doing this,
Well, it
or
depends on
is
if he
everyone still a
enlarges. I
human?
mean, I don't think you would see that necessarily as aggressive action. It's your decision if you want to.
Is he a turtle or is he a human?
He's a
Turtle
human
now.
right now.
So
No,
he's
no,
not
no.
a
You're actually no. You're still. Unfortunately, even with the spellcast, you're still human.
Damn it! I was hoping it
Yeah.
wore off.
No, it does not.
9
It does
days.
not. Yeah.
Yes.
It
I
doesn't.
think
Well,
you want
okay,
it to wear
still
off
human.
right
It's
now,
not-
man.
It like physically like turns you into a human, so it's not like just a
Yeah.
spell
Well,
effect.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I guess I'm the iron monger.
Okay.
So was Sio still human when she was getting shunted?
Yes, you're still human. Still. Yeah. Yeah. You're still also human. Yeah.
Getting shunted would reverse anything.
Yeah. It
One-
doesn't in this case, unfortunately.
One quick point of clarification: does Umbra communicate to Philip with eyes or anything that Sio's holding something back?
Yeah, I said out loud that I want her to say what happened. Don't skip anything, and this time tell the truth.
Oh man.
So
I'll just look
let's
back at
start
Theo.
over.
Yeah.
Because you're in a very, very bad situation. We all are. So start talking.
How much am I allowed to tell them about my rod?
Yeah, I mean, I can here. This is kind of important to Sio's character. So give me 2 seconds, guys, because we're almost at the end
Go,
anyway.
go,
But let's
go.
resolve this first. I really do want to resolve this part, and then we'll pick up. But here, Sio, I'm gonna bring you down real
God. God, if things go south, Erastus and Sia are going down swinging together.
I will not attack you guys. I will probably just. I would not.
Yeah.
I
a
would
little bit too
PvP.
soon
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not
for
actually.
that
I'm
dramatic
Can't-
moment.
It's funny because this is only gonna. Good thing Kina's not here because this would only confirm the Erastus has a crush on Sia thing, even though it's not that.
Sure.
No, it's more like a maternal thing.
Man,
'Cause
welcome to the
he's-
group.
He's 13.
That got weirder. That got weirder.
He's 13 and she doesn't have a mom, so
somehow managed to make it weirder.
I don't think it's weird. I thought it was a nice.
I'm
No,
just
it is
kidding.
cute. It
I'm
really
just
is
kidding.
cute, Gage. Gage, I really do love kind of the like. I don't want to say relationship, but make it even weirder. I love what's going on between Erastus and Theo.
It would be weird if she wasn't in the next room and I haven't been dating her for 4 years.
Or does that make it weirder? I don't know. I'm beyond this conversation now.
This has gotten into the realm of psychology.
Okay,
Exactly.
so Gage, I just have a quick question. So you didn't have a mom, but in your backstory it says as soon as he hatched, his parents immediately knew he wasn't going to make it.
He had a mom, but she died very quickly after he hatched. It was his dad that raised all of his parents, and then even his dad tried to eat him.
Yeah, I do remember that part.
All right, so we're good. Go ahead, we can start. Like I said, we'll resolve this because it's way too important to like not go through, even if we go over a little bit, and then that'll be it. But go ahead and let's resolve this.
Theo is just going to still sit there on the floor, but she's going to hang her head down. And as she does so, like tears are still streaming down her face. Like she's not fake crying. She's genuinely overwhelmed and confused about everything. But you can see her put her book to the side. She'll close it, put it to the side, and she'll reach into her sleeve and she'll pull out this very odd looking arcane tool. It's gold inlay. It's not very long.
And I'll bring it up for you too to help you out.
Yeah.
Yep.
It has different puzzle functions on it, each with a different glowing blue arcane symbol, and it looks as though it's some kind of puzzle or lock. And she's just gonna hold it in her hands, and she'll like look at Umbra and Philip because she feels incredibly guilty. I asked him to put his name in my book so we could talk to him in exchange for understanding more about his piece of Vecna that he keeps.
Yep, and this is the rod in Discord that she's showing you.
I didn't want to involve any of you in this, but I think it might be best to explain it now, all things considered. When I was a child, my family's house was burned down. But in the midst of the flames, someone approached me, and he promised that he would spare us if I would take this and do as he commands. I'm sorry, I was only 7. I didn't know what I was supposed to do, and I took it. And in exchange, he saved me and my brother and took my parents. In exchange for our lives, he's told me to go throughout the continent and put this in contact with rare or interesting artifacts so that he may know more about our realm of existence. I've been shunted back and forth. It's because he takes the rod from me and extracts all of my memories so he can hoard them and collect them. He told me to touch this to Banquo's hand. He told me that he would tell me if my brother is alive if I did. He didn't tell me anything would happen to Banquo. I had no idea that he would die. He's never taken anything when this rod has come into contact with things. He's never done this. I don't know why this happened. But as he was signing my book and the rod touched his hand, that flash happened. I just started bleeding He was gone. I thought it was the book, but now I think it's the rod. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean for your friend to die like this. I promise you that was never my intention. I just have to do this. I have to do it, or he could take me or my brother or anyone I care about away if I don't comply. He could take any one of you at this point. So I did it. I didn't know this would happen, and I'm sorry, and I know that won't bring him back.
Do you think he died of old age?
Probably.
Oh,
He said that earlier.
That's kind of too bad. Okay, never mind. Okay.
He didn't die of old age. He's ash. He's dust.
He
Wouldn't
said
have to have 300 gold worth of diamonds, would you? Anybody?
It's even more than from a meta perspective. It's even more than that anyway. That's actually I know it says that in D&D Beyond. Here it's different.
Okay.
You could actually try this if you had the diamond. By the way, yeah, no one from this group knows anything, so you could try it. But yeah.
I don't think we have it.
Yep.
Just asking. It was a long shot. Okay, thanks everybody.
Yep. Diamonds are incredibly rare within Favor and FYI.
Yeah, I
'cause they're
know, I
magic
know.
infused. Yeah.
Diamonds are a cleric's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
so
I'd say they're more a corpse's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
by the looks of it,
face has just fallen. Yeah, go on, bro. Sorry.
your friends don't know this either. Not only do we not know, but you came in here holding that secret from your companions.
I did.
Yeah, Erasmus actually looks a little hurt.
I didn't tell anyone because I made a pact of a warlock to keep my brother and I alive. He's threatened me since that day that if I don't follow his command, abide by the pact, that he could just take either one of us or anyone we cared about. However, I've been shunted to his dimension before. His power's been waning, and I've noticed. He tried to shunt me as soon as the book was signed, as soon as the rod came in contact with Banquo, but he couldn't. I think it was either that inability to take me to his realm or something with Banquo that just made me feel like I was splitting in half, but he hasn't taken me. It's the only reason I'm telling you this now is because I don't think he can reach me here. If
So
he
maybe
finds out
Can
that
we
I
put
told,
the rod in the bag of holding?
he'll just come back. He just reappears. When you make a pact with a deity, a devil, of whatever he is,
What is he?
I don't know.
What's his name?
He's never told me. The only thing he's ever told me is that he's the drunken fool. That's it.
The drunken fool.
That's all he's ever told me. The only reason I'm telling any of you this now is because I don't think that there can be ramifications while we are in this realm. But once we get back, I don't know what could happen. So please believe me that I didn't mean to hurt anyone by holding this back. I wanted to hold this by myself, carry this by myself to make sure that the people around me were safe. He gave me these powers too if I kept the secret so I could keep my own people safe if I just kept the secret.
And Erastus, as she's talking, going through, you obviously can't help yourself with your passive investigation of looking at this item and going through things, but you are obviously intently listening to Sio. But you noticed something too. While she was talking and as she was going through, you have no idea why, but the rod on the top absolutely opens up. You just don't know why it was made that way. But sure enough, it looks like in
I point.
Erastus, can you see
I
it?
point at it.
You don't. I mean, you don't have to. But what I'm saying is that if you look at it closely, you'll see that there are hinges here. This is what you noticed first. And you're like, why are there hinges? And then you realize, oh wait, it's because the top of the staff opens and the crystal gets exposed. You just have no idea why or how. But it's just something you notice with your very high passive investigation there. But anyway, go ahead.
That
CO,
goes
you would
like-
never notice this though. But this is yep. Anyway, yep.
Philip shakes his head and like tries to, as if he's trying to like shake off a bad dream, and breathes in sharply. And he says, "All right, I mean, yeah, I believe you. And like, rocking a tough place and all that.
Sorry for getting aggressive. I'm just.
Yeah,
I don't have much to lose.
You got anger issues, man.
No. Anyone will tell you that's not the case.
Uh-huh.
I only have one friend. I only have two friends.
You have been me.
Yeah, but I made him. I had to make my friends before meeting you guys. Cause
Look, my friend just fucking died. Shut up. I get it. I understand.
Looks
And
like
you all
he yelled at me.
are my best
deserve it.
fucking hope for getting out of here and doing something good with this life. So let's put this behind us as best as we can.
So Philip, you're with me,
I'm
and
with
we're
you.
with them.
And we're with them.
That was his last words.
But I
Who
feel
has
like
the bag of holding?
I feel like we have to put our cards on the table here. I can't speak for everyone, just me. My priority is to get us out of here. And if we can help this world, great. But if not, we're still taking our ticket out.
I think you owe us a little bit more now.
I don't need
And
to
Philip's
save this
gonna
world.
walk out.
I don't need to save this world either.
I just want to save me, and I want to save you all, and I want to save him. But fuck this world.
Good.
As long as you take us with you, I don't care what happens to the rest.
CO will go and she'll just kind of collect herself. She'll still have blood and tears everywhere, but she's gonna look over to where Philip went and she's just gonna slowly start following behind him.
Cool, awesome. And you know what, guys, we'll leave it at that.
That's
Also,
great.
from a meta perspective, yeah, this is actually why this campaign is so much fun, because I don't, not only do I not have to like basically, for me personally, there's so many things that could happen here that I don't actually have to carve this story in any kind of like dramatic way that fakes things so that I can make sure that things move along. I can just have CO not knowingly touch things and go through it. So it's very fun.
You
for
can
me.
just have me
But,
be the guinea pig.
But and I can also make sure that it's also like something I'm really truly not cheating. Like I really honestly had no idea we do that, CO. It's brilliant. Also meta from Smiles, so you understand the kind of campaign we're running too. From meta perspective, Merasis doesn't know this either apparently, but if Merasis had done Thunderwave underneath the library, probably would have been certain death in the end of your stories, because what would have probably happened is that not only would have alerted the guards, but now granted they're lower level soldiers, but you would have had hundreds to deal with if not. And then when the daggers get in, that would have truly been the end probably. There could have maybe been a way that you guys could have gotten out of that, maybe, but we are talking about hundreds of even level 3 characters, which probably would have been certain.
Yeah, I was preparing
and that would have
silence.
just happened. I would have let all of it happen the way that it was. I would not have cheated anything. You would have just been overwhelmed, probably. Not only that, if Kaz gets involved, he's level 25. It's done.
I forgot Thunderwave made the sound. I thought it was just electricity.
I guess your character probably would have known that, so we could have talked about it. But yeah, because you've done it several times. But yeah, it would have made a huge booming noise, and it would have just been a disaster because the town, as we know, is very quiet, and there's just not a lot going on at nighttime besides the patrols, which would have most definitely hurt you, and that would have started all hell breaking loose. But anyway,
The, the
they
three
would have had to
loudest.
find out how to get in is the only thing, and that you would have had a little bit of time trapped in there to think. But anyway, that's Miles. But that's very important. I want you to know that is really the kind of campaign I'm running. So anything can happen, and we don't cheat it. It just goes like this, like killing your quest giver. So,
We have a
yeah.
lot of well, not usually, but here lately we've had a lot of conflict.
Yeah.
Also, Kaylee, that was amazing. That
I
was
thought you did a
awesome.
great job. I thought you did a great job. Kaylee.
Fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
you did a
Tips,
great job.
Fedora. Thank you. I didn't know he was going to die.
Yeah, of course
Yeah,
Kaylee did
yeah.
not, by the way. Kaylee had
I had
no
to be
idea.
the fucking DM.
No,
Yeah.
she told me right before the session started. She said if I meet a guy, I'm killing him.
Yeah.
She
With
told me
the
that.
Stupid name, I'm
Yeah.
killing his ass.
It is
I
a
mean
stupid, it is a
Banksy.
stupid name.
If we
His-
get a
his canon
single
name-
fucking quest, I'm killing
She's-
somebody.
She said I
His-
don't like this Miles guy. I don't want him sticking around. I'm killing all of his friends
All of
If
immediately.
I see one
Oh,
more
shit.
white man,
His-
old
his-
white man.
His canon name is literally Lore Master Banquo Wankwo. And the worst part about that,
Wanker.
is he
The
calls
wanker.
himself fucking Lore Master in a town where you would literally die for saying that. So it's like Gygax kind of like fucking up a little bit. But anyway, it's we retcon the Lore Master part. That would only be something he would tell people in private, obviously, and he would like. Well, we didn't get to that point because he's dead now. But anyway,
You killed Lord Wanker.
yeah,
That's
Banquo Wankwo,
awesome.
amazing second edition name.
Lord
Amazing.
Wanker.
All right, y'all.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you so
anyway.
much for this. This is a pleasure. Thanks for welcoming me in. And this,
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait to do more of this. Enjoy.
Do you have any
Yep.
other friends?
No. You kidding me? No.
Ooh, I'm nervous now.
Okay,
I
but
do
will
well, yeah.
Philip and Umbra stop her
Yeah.
from taking some of his books?
I'm actually
Because
gonna ask.
she's
I want
gonna
every
use them.
play.
No, we need to bring all
Every
those
book of
books.
ours.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, I mean,
need
at
all
this
of
point. At this point, it's kind of open to you. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Take
Use
all
them
the
Bye,
books
guys.
of them.
See y'all next week.
Yep. See everybody next week. Yep.